University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome to Ermanni Networks with Maz. Brian Ermanni won't be with us, but we have the main man, Stick,
Hello.
in the building, Sam Day. So you know it's going to be off the rails with he and Maz. It's going to be a fun with Stick. What's up?
I'm going to play nice today. Listen.
You don't know how to.
Listen, over the weekend, I had to combat the entire state of Wisconsin.
Okay.
Took all of those losers down.
Okay.
So, like,
that video went viral, or that clip went viral, and it's over 1 million, correct?
3 million.
I'm about
3 million. And there's 100,000 people that live in Green Bay, so that means they've been hate watching from their ice shanties.
This is true.
For about a week now. It's pretty amazing. When you speak truth to life, people don't like it.
Careful.
Man, I want to stay with this for a second. Where are you with all the Vikings fans and all the Green Bay fans that are now kind of like foam like boy trying to hate on the Lions' success? It's a lot of hate going on out of Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Then it's not used to it. You know, let's face it. We've been the doormat for all these years.
So shouldn't they shut up?
We're on the short end of every stick when it comes to series versus the Vikings, series versus the Packers, versus the Bears. They're all beating our ass. But now, in the last 3-4 years, it's turned.
Politely, eloquently.
But what I want to tell Stick, and I wanted to tread lightly, is we are still on the up. We have not done anything yet. So you're abusing these teams that have won Super Bowls before, minus the Vikings.
Minnesota.
But they've been to 4. We haven't been to any.
Great.
So just tread lightly until we win our first, which will be coming up this February.
So, Maz, until we win a Super Bowl, I'm not allowed to enjoy this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Enjoy it.
Well, let me enjoy it.
Hey, you had 3 million people look at your video. You're doing something right.
Pete, KG, how you guys doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's going to be a long one.
This is the only show I come on that's like, oh, God, Stick's in here today. It's going to be a bad show.
By the way, it's not just going to be you and Maz. It's going to be KG and Maz, too, because somebody won the time.
It's not going to be KG and Maz. I don't hate the girl. I don't know how many times I got to say KG, you're one of those?
Yes, he is.
I'm over here setting it up like,
no, I'm not.
You're a CC hater?
No,
not at all. He's not. He's not, and we'll get to that.
I hated some of the antics around the people that support CC. That's all.
It's gonna be a fun show though between Caitlin Clark, between the Bills and Lions. We'll get to some of that talk. We'll get to AJ Brown and the foolishness that he's created.
Freaking Neil walks in my office. Neil walks in the office today. He's like, "Hey, Maz, the chat wants to know who are you rooting for, the Lions or the Bills?" Because the Bills they're in New York. They're a New York State team.
Yeah.
Well, no,
you're
you
an
never
OJ
know
fan.
which team you're rooting for
I'm like,
because you pick all of them
You're
as
an
your
OJ
favorite.
fan, so that's a big reason.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but like y'all do Maz crazy. For Maz to be from New York, New Jersey specifically,
Metro.
for him to have cheered for those New York fans for 31 years, if I'm not correct, then come here and cheer for the Lions for 32 years and be dialed into this fan base. He cares about this one above the New York Giants and the Jets. He cares about the Tigers above the Yankees. And the Yankees got 27 of those things last time I checked.
Yeah.
So Maz is a sports fan that came here, and ever since he planted his flag in Detroit, he's been a Lions fan. So if he likes the NFL, so what? Because at the end of the day, what's the team you cheer for, Maz?
The Detroit Lions.
There it is.
Above all,
I gotta back my guy.
above all sports and all teams, it's the Lions on the top of Mount Everest.
Speaking of on the top of Mount Everest, is not the Cincinnati Bengals who won last night Monday Night Football.
I love Joe Burrow.
Good win for them. Joe Burrow is having a year that only 2 other quarterbacks have had. Joe Montana and Drew Brees, 2 quarterbacks, led the league in passing yards and touchdowns and did not make the playoffs. This is just a phenomenal season. They get the win last night. He has another big game, 368, 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase on the chase, pun intended, for the Triple Crown. He gets 177, 14 catches and 2 touchdowns. Like, Stick, is this just a tragedy to watch? Is it watching it unfold? The Cincinnati Bengals team being so great on offense. Even Trey Hendrickson, he leads the league in sacks. Yet and still, they're a bad team.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of the Matthew Stafford era in Detroit a little bit. You know, you got a good quarterback that can sling the ball around the field, except Joe Burrow's already accomplished more with the Bengals than Stafford ever did here in Detroit.
Yeah.
But
I get what you're trying to say.
But no, it seems like you're wasting a talent. That's what it seems like. This guy's rotting away in Cincinnati.
Hold on, wait. Did you just give Hold on. Did you just get Matthew Stafford some love?
A little bit.
Was that indirect love for you?
It was a little
That
bit.
was as close as you're going to get.
Yeah.
As close as you'll get to a compliment for that guy for me.
Okay.
Listen, I never questioned Matthew Stafford's arm talent. I questioned his leadership. I questioned him to be able to motivate a locker room. I questioned some of his in-game decisions. I questioned his fire. I questioned a lot of things about the leadership aspect of that guy. Never questioned his talent. That was never an issue. You can't knock his arm talent.
Very fair.
But yeah, it's tough watching Joe Burrow, man. But it all goes back to that one infamous draft night where they chose Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell. And ever since then, I mean, they did go to a Super Bowl that year. But you've seen it. That offensive line has just been abysmal. I mean, you saw it last night, under pressure, always scrambling, always having to make a play, which he can, because that's what he was doing at LSU, too. I mean, Joe Burrow's been one of the most fun quarterbacks of my lifetime to watch. It's just he's stuck on a loser franchise, and really not much you can do about it.
They've been to a few Super Bowls, though.
Boomer Esiason in the 80s?
Yeah, they've been to 3.
That doesn't matter now, though.
I'm just saying. We haven't gotten any.
But what does that matter?
I'm just bringing it up.
You sound like a Packers fan. Well, you got swept this year.
I think you already know that.
But that's the thing. Like, the past is the past. I'm talking about this year, right now, what's going on.
This year, right now, the Lions are poised for great things.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Let's not get sidetracked with that, because there's something I want to come back to that you mentioned. You mentioned that draft, 2021. 3 players that keep coming to mind. Obviously, Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, and Micah Parsons. But before we say that, Tom, as I want to come to you. Cincinnati Bengals, you see the year they're having. Zach Taylor, it just seems like it's something going on. If you're the ownership for the Cincinnati Bengals, do you make a move? Because I heard a very interesting comparison. About.
I'd like to hear your comparison before I make that move. Actually, I'm going to say this. They got 4 games left. There is an outside chance if they sweep, and the Steelers are in that bunch. The other 3, I think they could win. The Steelers are the last game of the year. They still can sneak in to the playoffs. They're going to need a lot of help. But, again, how far are they going to go with that defense? Not very far.
Not far.
I did not like the way Zach, what's his last name again?
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor. I did not like the way he coached this year. He blew, I think, 3 games for them. I watched.
Before the season, I thought he was on the hot seat.
I hated his play calling. I hated a lot of things what he's done. So, is it time to make a move? First of all, you got to grab a couple of offensive linemen and a couple of great defensive players. I don't know who the GM is in Cincinnati.
They need to fire both of them, and they need to start a new plan.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't want to say necessarily fire the GM. There's some players on their team that you like, but it just seems like Zach Taylor can't get the best out of these guys. You know, the comparison I heard was it's like Mark Jackson. You have, Steph Curry, you have Klay Thompson, you have these guys, but you can only get them so far. And it took Steve Kerr essentially to get him over the hump. You need another guy.
Well, you could compare him to who won it for the Eagles.
Peterson.
And look how he's not doing real well right now in Jacksonville. So
Peterson
Zach Taylor was like an inch away from winning a Super Bowl against the Rams, and you remember the play.
I do.
Jamar Chase was there.
Yep.
There was a touchdown.
If Darnold didn't
game.
get that pressure, whole different ball game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a couple of Super Bowl coaches
and they were
that are on the hot seat.
This is true. They were a blown call away from it being a blowout, because I can't believe they didn't call T. Higgins for that pass interference. Like, to this day, I love it because I'm a wide receiver. Going back to the 2021 draft, the Jamar Chase draft, the Penei Sewell draft, here's a conversation that I'm tired of hearing about. I'm tired of Lions fans and some people sticking this doesn't relate to you. This has nothing to do with you. After last night, you see with Micah Parsons, you see how he walks off the field. He walks off before the game is over with. He's
crashing out.
100%. And once again, he throws players under the bus. This has been an interesting season for Micah Parsons, and maybe even diving into a little bit of last season. But the conversation was always, should the Lions have gotten Micah Parsons or should they have taken Penei Sewell? I don't mind the people that said Penei Sewell back then. One of them is sitting to my left. It's Stick.
Hello.
We have the sound. We have everything.
Hey,
Stick
you can go back draft party
down
3 years ago. You can watch it. I just showed it to KG.
He was dialed in.
Got receipts.
He was dialed in to the fact that it was AI.
My team had to edit it.
No, but he was down with the pick. He saw what it was. He wanted to make the strength stronger. You already had Frank Ragnow. You had Taylor Decker. You bring in Penei Sewell, make him a right tackle. Now you really have something going for the Lions. Kudos to you. But you are in the minority. And when I say minority, it may even be over 90%. When Micah Parsons went to the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody here in Detroit, including myself, Micah Parsons was the move. Then his rookie year, he finishes number 2 in Defensive Player of the Year. Now, all of a sudden, you see how things have unfolded in Dallas, because Dallas is a bleep show, and it always has been. Even when they were winning Super Bowls, Dallas was a bleep show. But now you see what it's come to. He leaves the field. Last year he was hurt, and now everybody's like, oh, yeah, see, this is why we got Penei Sewell instead of Micah Parsons. One individual that I love to death is Neil Rule, and Neil said something. I usually don't argue with Neil, because you won't win to argue with Neil. Neil has all the knowledge, all the facts.
It's
and then
exhausting.
Then he'll switch the facts on you.
says.
I learned my lesson when we first got to the network. I said, Neil's good at this. I'm gonna step back.
Yeah, he's a tactician. He is. You gotta know. You gotta have your points set before you face Neil.
But when you see how he walks off the field and you jump in the chat and say, and some people wanted Micah Parsons over Penei Sewell, 91% of us did, including you. Go back. 91% of us wanted Micah Parsons, especially after the first 3 years, realistically, especially 2. So these people that want to go back in time and say, this is what I said, no, you didn't. It's okay to just roll with the punches, and the punches have you in a great seat. You're 12-1. Penei Sewell looks amazing. He's much better at this point than Micah Parsons is in his career. But don't act like you weren't in that majority back in 2021. I hate those people that forget the past. So stop forgetting the past and just rock with the future.
Yeah, a lot of people were a prisoner of the moment. And listen, I just went back and watched that draft, and you lose some of the nuance of what the team was 3 years ago. And part of it was me saying, yeah, I know we just came off having a historically bad defense. Yeah. And everybody knew you had to address that side of the ball.
You needed a player. That was the consensus, if you will.
And Micah Parsons is a player. He's a potential gold jacket player. I'm not saying he's not a Hall of Fame player. This is not a knock on him. But at that time, it was just like you said, I'm a big fan of making your strengths stronger before you try to piecemeal together a defense off of one guy, right? And we've
got to start somewhere.
And we've seen that wasn't where they wanted to start, right? They wanted to start by getting an identity on the offensive line and proving that, we have the number one something, instead of, okay, the offensive line is going to be top 10, defense will try to be top 15 with Parsons. Now we're in the middle of the road with both. That doesn't create a winner. That doesn't create a culture. So I'm so glad they did what they did, but I also understand Parsons was a generational talent.
Also, too, not even so much as Parsons. Parsons now is becoming generational talent, if you will, but it was also the Penei Sewells. It was the question marks. The question, how old was Penei Sewell at the time? He was 19.
Right.
19 and set out his junior year.
Right.
So then he gets drafted at 20 with only a year and a half of football experience and at the collegiate level. And then you draft him during COVID. Then also your offensive line. You're drafting a left tackle to make him a right tackle. You already have a good left tackle.
Yep.
You already have a tackle in Taylor Decker, who's still here. Shout out to Taylor Decker. So it was just like, with all of these things, you're going to pass up on Micah Parsons. I think that was once again, the consensus, and it was rightful at the time. Now, okay, I was wrong.
But it just shows the brilliance of Brad Holmes and what they wanted to establish and the identity that they needed. Like, we can have one dog over there, or we can have 5 dogs up front. And I'm glad they picked the 5 dogs up front. And you've seen they've been able to build around that, because don't forget, the second, third round draft picks, he addressed the defense as well during that draft. And he got Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round of that draft. And that's another great point of that draft, too, is when you're watching, because people wanted the Lions to get a wide receiver.
Yeah, they did.
I remember watching the War Room. In the second round. And I remember watching the War Room, and I distinctly remember Brad Holmes saying, our guy's going to be there. I didn't know what the hell that meant. I didn't know who their guy was. I didn't know when they meant it was going to be there. But come to find out, their guy was Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he was there in the 4th round.
Amazing.
So they knew who was going off the board, just like Amon-Ra remembers who was going off the board.
Yeah, this is true.
They knew all those guys that had talent, but they were like, no, our guy's there. And to me, what sold him on Amon-Ra St. Brown is his blocking. You go back and watch some of those USC.
We talked about that. Tim Patrick, we talked about that.
You go watch some of those USC footage with Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is driving people 20 yards into the stand.
That's because
like
of his
Michael
father.
Orr blindside blocks. It's crazy.
Maz, just getting back to that, and then we can come back to the Lions side of things. The other conversation is, you see who Micah Parsons is. You see him on the field. You see how he walked off the field with classless, if people would say. You see him with the podcast. A lot of people forget the culture is amazing here. The culture isn't good in Dallas. The culture never has been good in Dallas. Do you think that if we would have brought Micah Parsons here, Yeah, and who should have we drafted? If he was brought here, he would have been a different player because of Dan Campbell and because of the culture.
Not a question.
Yeah.
Not a question. This is the best staff in football, bar none. People on other teams are going to be looking at the Lions on how to build their team going forward. Giants are going to tear their team down here in a little bit. Jets already started tearing their team down. But the Giants are going to be ground zero here for the draft once they get the number 1 draft pick. Fighting it off with the Raiders right now, but there'll be 1 or 2. They're going to look at this Lions and how this team was built. Brad Holmes. Don't forget, Dan Campbell was hired before Brad Holmes. That usually doesn't work.
Amazing.
That usually doesn't work. So whoever was helping Sheila devise this plan did a master class in doing it. And Brad Holmes has been waiting for this opportunity his whole life, and he has made the most of it. He has hit blackjack on every single draft that he has done. Even these guys he's picking off out of practice squads. Every one of them is playing like, hey, I should have been drafted. Yeah. This Muhammad, he's amazing.
Got a motor, baby.
He's amazing.
But you go back and look at that 2021 draft, and like I said, they were worried about not addressing defense. Second round pick, number 41, Levi Onwuzurike.
Yep.
He's done all right.
If he didn't have all those injuries, he would have been an absolute terror.
Third round, Aleem McNeil. Pick number 72.
Bam.
Turned out okay.
Maxed him out this year.
If he's giving you quality snaps, not this year, but last year you saw quality snaps.
But they maxed him out, and he deserved it, to your point.
Then you get back-to-back picks. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Derek Barnes, who, once again, barring injury, Derek Barnes sealed the first ever playoff victory against Tampa Bay.
He was going to be the defensive captain this year until he got hurt.
So, I mean, for everybody that was worried that they didn't get Parsons there, would you rather have Derek Barnes or Parsons?
Parsons.
Come on.
But listen, would you rather have Derek Barnes, Onwuzurike, Aleem McNeil? Like, that's what you're doing with. Because if you go Parsons first round, then you're addressing the offense later, right?
Maybe, yeah.
So you're kind of giving up some of those guys. You're not going to draft all defense, are you?
No.
Well, Braylon asked if he'd be a different player if he had come to the Lions. I think he would have been the terror he is now today, except with a better attitude. And listen, there are other players that have podcasts. Look at the St. Brown brothers. They have a fun time with their podcast.
Yeah, but they never throw teammates under the bus.
That's what I'm saying. They have a fun time with their podcast.
Yeah.
Micah,
they do throw J-Mo under the bus for not coming
on. He went the other way. Micah Parsons went the other way with his podcast, and he pissed off a lot of his teammates. There's not a question about it.
Speaking of throwing people under the bus, look, and I know we want to get to the Lions. We know you guys want to dive into the Lions. Look, it's a major week. They're playing the second-best team in the AFC, and the Bills, they come in at 10-3. It's going to be a major week. We're going to get to that. But you talk about throwing teams under the bus. Who is Detroit right now? I know you're going to say no one, but who is Detroit somewhat looking over their shoulders for right now, currently?
I think the Bills are always in that conversation.
NFC.
Not the Eagles.
NFC?
The Eagles.
It's the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles have to be the conversation, but I don't. If you ask the Lions, I don't think they're going to say that.
The conversation wasn't about if you feel that. It's who's behind them. It's the Eagles. You see what's going on in Philly?
Mm-hmm.
You see what's going on with Philly? For A.J. Brown making a conversation about passing. And then you see Brandon Graham, shout out to the University of Michigan, go Blue.
Yep.
See Brandon Graham come on and say, look, their relationship isn't the same. We understand
have all that
that.
sound.
I know. It's one of those situations where you appreciate the locker room that you have. You got a team that's right on your heels. They're clicking at 11-2, and they got beef in the locker room for no reason.
How much do you think that affects them going down the stretch?
Well, now
do you think they're professional enough to get over the personal stuff, or does that come out on the field?
You know what?
Last year it came out.
I want to say for the conversation, but I think it hurts. Like it hurts. Yeah. Like there's no like you're winning right now, and you're talking about the passing game.
Yeah.
Like you're winning, and you're talking about the passing game.
They just won their 9th straight game,
and you're talking about passing.
Individuals.
Yeah. It'd be different if he was Jamar Chase. Right. And the only reason why I say it'd be different is because what hasn't happened for Jamar Chase yet, even though he's about to win the Triple Crown. Jamar Chase hasn't got paid.
That's a fact, yeah.
A.J. Brown not only got bought over, he got paid. And then guess what happened before the season started? He got paid again. Mm-hmm. So that's where I think the problem is. No, what are you? One, you're winning, and two, you got paid. Shut up. Getting to the Lions' major game. Guess where I ran into let's just say an adult's place yesterday. I ran into Zadarius Smith.
Oh, wow.
Hey, shout out Big Z.
I ran into Big Z, Zadarius Smith, yesterday at an adult establishment.
He looks like he's got a great personality. Like he's like he glows, that guy.
First of all, super, super, super like goofy, gentle giant, if you will. I didn't know he was that big. Pause. Like, I had to look up a little bit, but super good guy, man. He was
just trying to think of what the adult place means.
Come on now. It ain't hard to figure out, right?
You know.
Yeah. All right.
It's only one of two places it could have been.
But anyway, I saw him and I was sitting there. I was talking to him, and what caught me off guard was just how excited he was about Detroit. And he's already talking about extending with, or like in conversation where this is kind of where I want to be. Like, I've seen how the city has, brought me in. I've seen how they've kind of gotten behind me. Like, he's super excited to be here, man. And he just was super humble. He said, yo, just play for me. Blessings. Like, when people talk like that, man, it's because it's a good feeling around them, man. So shout out to the city for making Zadarius Smith feel like that. And then shout out to the Detroit Lions that we know what the plan is. And I think I've seen enough to know that I want him opposite of big number 97 when he comes back.
Yeah, look at his stats. Pete, put up his stats. I mean, from the Browns in the beginning of the season.
He's got 3 sacks, I believe.
To now, look at it. Look at the pressures and the sacks and the tackles.
If you can't see and you're listening to it, Zadarius Smith in 9 games with the Browns, 27 pressures, 20 hurries, 2 hits, 5 sacks. Smith in 4 games with the Lions, 20 pressures, 14 hurries, 2 hits, and 4 sacks. That puts him at 9
pretty damn good
this season.
But let's be honest, all right? And as much as I love Zadarius Smith, where else was he going to go to get the all-star red carpet treatment like he was here? I mean, you're stepping into a major hole in the defense, and everybody was just craving, give me something to fill in for Aiden Hutchinson. People wouldn't stand it if Brad Holmes didn't make him.
It was fake excitement out of him?
I'm not saying no. He should be excited. I'm saying he would probably get a bigger welcome here than anywhere else. When he signed with the Vikings, was there pomp and circumstance for it? Yeah. When he signed with the Browns, did we oh my God, Zadarius Smith signed? No. His name really wasn't spoken here until Aiden Hutchinson went down. And then it became like, okay, this is the guy that's stepping in for our guy. We need to rally around him. We need to support him. And imagine the hero's welcome he felt showing up with his Rashid jersey. Everybody's going nuts. The locker room loves you. Like, him,
you gotta give him credit for that, though.
I give him credit for it.
He knew the jersey. He knew the semblance of
but
what it meant.
But this fan base embraced him, I think, more than any other fan base. Like, even when Chase Young went to San Francisco last year, were they super hype about getting Chase Young?
Well, he wasn't coming to replace Nick Bosa.
Exactly.
He was coming to add.
He was coming to a place where arms were wide open. We need a new hero on defense. You're going to be it. And we're putting Zadarius Smith, who was a number 2 in Cleveland, because Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett. He's superhuman. And that's no knock to be the number 2.
Are you breaking Zadarius Smith down? I'm confused right now.
No, I'm not. Confused. No, but he went from being the number 2
to being 1.
To being the super 1. Yeah. And that's got to be a good feeling. I'm glad he's embracing the city because we all love him here. We all love him getting up, feeding himself after a sack. Him and Rodrigo doing a little Trump dance on the first day. Like, all of it has come to fruition to where this guy was in the right place at the right time with the right team and the right fan base. And sometimes it just all falls together like that.
Yeah, he was definitely not in any of these suburbs. He was in the 313 when I saw him. Imagine you don't like something that's come out about the head coach of the Detroit Lions. It's something that you feel like is a slight to our guy, DC.
A lot of people are nicknaming him Dan Gamble. I think it's a cute nickname and all, but he don't gamble, man. I mean, he's playing with real numbers. He is playing his game. 4 downs you got to make 10 yards. And if he wants to go on 4th and 1, 2, or 3, go for it. 4th and 6, it depends on the situation. Going from your own 30-yard line, once in a while, I get a pit in my stomach, but I'm like, okay, I'm good. Because we're either going to make it or the defense is going to do its best to hold them out. And I know they gave the short field to Green Bay a couple times last week, once by an interception and the other, of course, by going on 4th down. And that pitch out wasn't a good play. It just actually, I know Jared Goff changed that of the play to the pitch out, which didn't work.
It wasn't an awful play. Tim Patrick came off his block a little early.
It doesn't matter. It didn't work. So anyway, I just think a lot of people are looking at this guy.
Watch the play.
And Rob Parker, good friend of ours.
Friend of yours, not friend of mine.
Friend of Detroit. I've known him for 30 years.
Is he a friend of Detroit?
He's a ball buster. He does that.
Always has been.
That's the way he is.
Always has been.
But he does it in fun. But he came out and he said on his show that Dan Campbell was not a good head coach. And I wrote him right away. I'm like, Rob, this time you went too far. And we've reached out to him. We've talked to him. He does it. So we're talking about him, right? We're talking about him. I know in his heart he doesn't believe that Dan Campbell is a bad coach.
So you're friends with inauthentic people, is what you're saying.
If he does believe that, then he is.
There's a lot of people doing
he
this
is
job
so
that are very
wrong.
unauthentic.
Dan
my
Campbell is one of the best coaches in the
been in
NFL.
the game as long as him.
I like the way he goes about the game. That's my kind of guy.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, then I guess you don't like Dan Campbell.
Listen, the best analogy I've been able to come up with Dan Campbell to describe it to people who are uncomfortable with it, because I don't love going for it on every fourth down. I don't love going for it on my own 30.
No, he don't.
No.
I don't.
We literally had to talk him.
I'm
sense it to him during the watch party.
Not sense it to me. That's not how I was brought up. That's not how I've been taught the game. That's not what I've seen being successful my whole life. But guess what? It's being successful right now. And what I tell people, it's like when Steph Curry came in the league. You don't have to like every shot from the logo, right? But he's going to take them, and majority of the time it's going to work out for Steph Curry. So that's how I've kind of wrapped my head around it. Like, you don't love every three-point shot Steph Curry's taking, but you're okay with it because it's effing Steph Curry. I don't love going for it on every fourth down, but I'm okay with it because Dan Campbell, he's backing it up. He has the analytics to back it up on occasion. This last game, it was already written in stone that they were going for it. So, like, to me, it kind of throws a little weird thing. Like, it's almost like Dan Campbell was using a psychological, like, hey, guys, here we go. We're going for it on every fourth down. It doesn't matter. So even if he failed, it was like, well, we already knew, so this wasn't like a tough decision for him to make.
They were playing short-handed on defense, and they were running out of gas.
He
decided to keep away.
He made that decision pre-game, though, Maz.
But he didn't make it to go on fourth and inches.
Yes, he did. He made it pre-game.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you. He said it.
I know. But he didn't. Right. Not the last play, because he couldn't have known that on the last play, Green Bay could get the ball back with 40 seconds left. That's Jared Goff telling him, let's go for it. And that's what's known. Jared Goff said, let's go for this one.
But he had already informed the team.
I know
Any
that.
fourth and short, we're going for this game. Anyone.
All right, so with that being said, we love what Dan Campbell's at, and this didn't just happen overnight. Look, remember the Cowboys game last year?
Yep.
We knew what he was doing. We knew he didn't want to go to overtime. He knew he wanted to stick it to him, so we know this is him. Now I got you two over there arguing. I forgot. But the thing is, all Trailblazers, and you brought up Steph Curry, so it works perfect for the conversation. All Trailblazers get it. Because it's the first time you've seen it. Right. Nobody trusts it when you see it for the first time. Yep. And that's who Rob Parker is. And when I heard it, I'm like, one, he's a ball buster. Two, he's just an old timer that at the same time he's looking at it from the first time it's being done. Yeah. He's not paying attention to the success. You're only looking, this is the first time. He's the only one doing this. When Steph was shooting from the logo, this is not sustainable basketball. You can't win like that. Right. Then once you win, then it's like, okay, now here comes Damian Lillard. Now here comes, and so on, so on, so on. Trae Young, 100%.
That's where my problem lies with him, is because he's notoriously been a Lions basher, which for a good part of how long he's been doing it, rightfully
so. Everybody on radio was a Lions basher because they deserved it back.
Like I said, during a certain period of time.
Beans.
Yeah, of course. But during a certain period of time, that was acceptable. Yeah. But you have the last 3 years of data to show you that this thing is different here in Detroit, and he just continues to go on this type. Like, he's never been supportive
he also hasn't been
of this era. And he's supposed to be from here though,
but he also hasn't been
here.
He's
been in Washington.
He's been in California.
Yeah,
Rob's in California 12 years.
But
so like for him,
if you don't watch the product, then just say that. Don't come on the airwaves.
I'm not defending him.
No, I don't. Think
You're absolutely right.
I don't think you are.
I'm just telling you, they don't, and they have these opinions. Like, until Dan Campbell wins the Super Bowl, the outsiders, that's going to be their conversation. Like, until he gets to the Super Bowl, then wins the Super Bowl, they're going to keep bringing it up. They don't have anything else to talk about, because what are the Lions doing? Week in and week out. W.
11 straight.
So now they got to find things to talk about and make conversation.
I hear you.
Like, ooh, what is somebody saying different about the Lions?
But you pick out
Dan Campbell's a horrible coach.
You pick out the 1 fourth down, and he's 4 or 5 in the game. Yeah. And like his career record is 80%. Like,
can
what
we
are
have an honest
about?
Conversation about that fourth down though? The other ones were 4th and 1 from the goal. The other one was to seal the ball game. This was, you're already up 3. You're in your own territory. So
I get that.
I get it. Yeah, 4 or 5's great, but let's be honest. There's some that you probably shouldn't go for, and that's okay to say. I'm not hating on Dan Campbell. I'm just saying, hey, there's some I probably wouldn't do that for. Dan Campbell got a bigger set of, you know what? He gonna go do it when he wants to do it, and I'm all for it. Dan Campbell got me here, I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth and say, no,
he
sorry.
don't coach scared.
No, yeah,
and I
don't
love
be
that
scared.
my coach doesn't coach scared.
I'm scared.
He
I'm
coaches
scared
to
when they
win
do
the
it.
game.
I'm a scared fan when they do it, but you know
I feel
what?
you,
I'm
man.
happy when it's successful.
There's a reason why we are 12-1.
Dan Campbell's not scared of anything, including the NFC North, which is loaded. We'll get a conversation about Dan Campbell when we come back. But first, let's pay some bills. Let's get a message in from Les Stanford.
Les Stanford. How much do we love these guys? Gave us tickets to give away for Outkicking your coverage, and now they will get you in some brand new vehicles just in time for the holidays. You know what? Be one of those guys, get a big ribbon, put it in the driveway for your girl, and let them know, baby, I got you a new 2024 Blazer. I got you that 2025 Equinox. She doesn't have to know it's only $169 a month. She don't got to know all that, okay? So instead of going to buy jewelry, get her a year of car payments from Les Stanford.
And you can drive your new car from Les Stanford over to the Second Best Bar this coming Sunday, December 15th. And you can join us at Detroit's very own Second Best Bar, located at 42 Watson Street, for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show only at the Second Best Bar. Come get some.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry! Offer ends December 20th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
And New Holland Brewing Company is here to tell y'all about Tangerine Space Machine. It's the easy drinking IPA with out-of-this-world flavor. Smooth and juicy pause with a refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with Tangerine Space Machine, which is the official beer of outer space, by the way. Grab yourself a can of this intergalactic hazy goodness brewed by New Holland Brewing Company right here in the great state of Michigan.
Michigan.
Hey guys, attention sports fans, do not miss out on our expert. Well, Pete, you told me it was Dr. Pierce.
Oh, sorry, my bad. That's
okay.
me, dude.
I'll give you Mark White.
That's
Attention
me, buddy.
real estate folks, you feeling a financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right. I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today. 248-290-8242. You can try them online as well. MarkWhiteSells.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
A lot of whispering going on in the studio, man.
Right?
Well,
Bethany dropping on some food, man.
Nah,
For nobody else.
It looks good, man.
Nobody else but us.
Who ordered that
It
food?
looks good. What you got going on? A little burger action, a little sourdough bun.
She's got a client. His name is Petro. He owns Republica. They got one in Berkeley and a couple other around.
Yeah, I've seen the one in Burgers across from my
Yeah,
work.
food are we talking
He just
about?
sent me a
Coolidge Highway, right?
brisket sandwich.
Nice.
Brisket sandwich.
Beth.
Tell them you got a team
They got
next
other
time.
stuff in there too. So right? Is that all for you, Beth?
No. We'll get next time.
You got a burger?
Hey,
All right.
I got a super chat from Dante.
old
Dante spending
Dante.
$20 of his
Dante
hard-earned money.
151.
Shout out
All right, Dante, stick. A person on the radio yesterday posed the question, is Dan Campbell becoming a pioneer on this new form of football? Because you have to remember that people will be bashed pioneers for doing something different. Doing something different from
That's
the
what I
norm.
just said.
That's what I'm just saying,
Yes.
Dante.
Yes, that's
Just saying.
100% what's happening. And
It started since
And
last year.
I told people this last year, and I don't know if people didn't take me serious or not, but
Probably not.
us Lions fans, we had a finite
Lions
fans. We had a finite amount of time before we were the lovable, cute, they're the up and comers. To oh my God, I hate these guys. And we're to the point of my God, we hate these guys. But it's the crescendo that all Detroit sports teams need. It needs to be the build up to we're the villains, we're the bad guys, we're the dirty team. We play different football. Oh, Dan Campbell was a part of Bounty Gate. Oh, they're all dirty. They're all evil. Detroit, for some reason, needs that to be successful in any sport. Last time they were successful in basketball, going to work Pistons, nobody gave them any respect, right? Yeah. Bad boys, okay? Bill Laimbeer said it best. Somebody had to wear the black hat, and we were comfortable doing it. Brad Holmes stands up there with his villain shirt on. The rest of the team, Kirby, John, this is the team that you need to be. A bunch of good guys who are badasses. And that's what the Detroit Lions have. And it's built up nationally now that we got the crazy head coach, that he's just an ogre, that he's evil, and I love it. Bring it all, national media. Hate us. Hate everything about Detroit, because that is when we do the best.
This is what the people of Detroit should pay attention to, and you should pay attention to the national media. You should pay attention to the teams. You should pay attention to the other head coaches. The reason why is when I was playing in New York, Mass, we went to the playoffs, the AFC Championship in 2009. Then we came back and went to the playoffs in the AFC Championship in 2010. I was in the conference of Tom Brady and the Patriots. They never worried about the Jets. They never commented about the Jets. They never started complaining. They never started getting into fights with flag carriers in the opening. They didn't resort to social media. Their fan bases didn't have, you know why? Because they didn't believe in it. See, the reason why you see fans starting to chime in, you're starting to see analysts starting to chime in and other people, that's because the outside world believe in the Detroit Lions. They believe in what Dan Campbell has started here and what he's created. They believe in the players. They believe in what the identity is. So the hate is real because they're scared. They see the Detroit's like, holy, they are real.
Yeah.
I played for a team with the 2 AFC championships. People still weren't scared of us. That was all right. I mean, they went out and got LaDainian Tomlinson. Yeah. I mean, they got Cromartie. He washed out. And it's dumb things they were saying, but they didn't worry about it. They weren't saying any of that.
Right.
Because they didn't care, because they didn't fear the Jets. They didn't fear Mark Sanchez. They didn't fear Brian Schottenheimer. They didn't fear what we were on offense. They feared our defense. They fear the Lions. That's why you get the hate. That's why you get the $3 million. That's why you get analysts now saying stuff. That they hate the Lions because they know the Lions are real. They know that this isn't the Minnesota. When they were 12 wins last year.
Yep.
13 wins the year before that. Ain't nobody mentioned Minnesota.
And they
don't
mad
fear
about
Minnesota.
And they're mad about it too,
because
right?
they know they fear the Lions because this is a real sustainable thing that has been built here.
But even look at a Tucker Kraft situation, right?
Yeah.
He took himself out of who normally Tucker Kraft is. Because, all right, I'm gonna go at Kirby. All right. Well, now while you're going at Kirby, you're missing your assignment. And what did he say this morning or yesterday? Yeah. He said almost exactly that. Oh, I got a little sidetracked trying to do it personal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly because now you're starting to overcompensate.
It's like out of their game.
It's like Ohio
what
State.
Year is Tucker Kraft in, by the way?
I think this is 4th year, right?
No, second.
Second?
Okay. All right.
But I looked at it
good.
as like the Michigan-Ohio State game. I tweeted out in the second quarter of that Michigan-Ohio State game after the quarterback got his head rocked, right? What does he do? He goes to the sideline. He's pumping his chest. He's trying to get the fans.
It's fake hype.
It was fake. You could tell it was scared. It was fear forcing them to do that. Fear forced Tucker Kraft to address Kirby. That's what caused it. And then when you got to take the L after your fear has driven you out of your normal realm, you look like a fool. And that's what's happening to coaches against Dan Campbell, too. Yeah. The fear of us going it for fourth down all the time, what's it doing? Now, all of a sudden, other coaches feel that pressure. Well, man, if I give them the ball back, they're just going to do it again. And you could see it on LaFleur's face the last 2 times.
Because he knows they're going to get it.
In the rain, LaFleur, mumbling under his breath, F you to Dan Campbell when they score on fourth down. That was in Lambeau. This time, 4 or 5 on fourth down, it's demoralizing.
Yeah. It's dehumanizing. First time I'm going to agree with you. You hit it on the head.
Good job.
With that. First of all, he is in Matt LaFleur's head.
Everybody love everybody.
We are in Green Bay's head. We are definitely in Minnesota's head. They've got 2 losses, guys, and they're in second place, a game and a half back of the leaders. So who did they talk to the other day? I forgot what Viking it was. And he said, I'm just sick and tired of hearing about Detroit. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Detroit.
That was Byron Murphy.
It is Byron Murphy. Thank you. It doesn't matter. And that's where it is, Bray. It's Dan Campbell. He says, hey, we're playing a tough NFC North, Pete. Let's hear what Dan Campbell had to say.
We are in playoff football in a sense. And, I know that we got in, but this is about more than that. We've given ourselves an opportunity postseason, which is great, man. It's all you need. And so we've got that. But, man, anytime you play, the best of the best competition, you can't help but get better. And whatever it takes to win those games, you learn how to win those games. You learn a new way to win.
He's absolutely right. You've already done it. You've already gotten to the playoffs. You've already put yourself in the position to make it to the playoffs, give yourself a chance to win some games in playoffs, but now it's about establishing dominance. In 2010, when I went to the playoffs with the Jets, we played against the New England Patriots in the second round. Like, man, we beat them one time. We beat them in the first game of the year. We lost in a blowout the second game of the year.
Monday Night
Football. They beat our ass. 49-3. Hey, look, it happens.
Yeah.
So now we play them, second round of the playoff. We knew we could beat them. 100% we knew we could beat them. There are teams that are going to know that they can beat the Detroit Lions, or they feel as though they can beat the Lions. But, Stick, I promise you this. A little bit of me deep down inside was like, can we really beat the Patriots in Gillette?
Right.
Can we really beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in Gillette?
The myth starts to be bigger than the man.
That's what you're trying to instill during the season. That's what you put yourself in a position by going 15-2 or 16-1. Let me not even say 2 and going 16-1. You put yourself in a position where Philly knows that they can match up with the Lions, but when you come into Ford Field, it's a little bit of you like, damn, are they gonna go 4-5 on fourth down on us? Green Bay, Minnesota, insert any other team, and that's what Dan Campbell's saying.
Well, just psychologically on defense. I mean, I didn't play at a high level like you, but
you know the game.
You knew once you shut them down.
Lake St. Mary's.
Shout out state champs. But you knew once you stopped the team on third down, oh, my job's done. Put your shoulders down, run off the field,
Not
punt
anymore.
squad. That extra pressure of we did our job for 3 downs and it's still not enough, when through the course of the season you play every other team and it's pretty much that way against every other team. But then you play the Lions and it's like, God, please don't go for it. Oh, my God, they're going for it. Because I used to hate that when people would go for it on the Lions. Yeah. Oh, finally, we stopped them. It's 4th and 1. Yeah, we're getting off the field. And then like, wait, no, don't stay out there.
Yeah, no,
it's demoralizing.
It is. Yeah. It's hard.
Maz, there's a natural dopamine release. There's a natural dopamine release when you're in the league, and if I get a first down, we extend the drive.
Yeah.
You see somebody catch a first down or run for a first down, your brain, your body say, whoo, all right, bet. We got another 3 downs to make something. On the opposite side, there's a dopamine release when we have 3 downs to stop these. If they get the 4th, they're punting. As soon as you get the 3rd, you stop them. 4th down comes. Man, like you said, we did. It's a release.
Yep.
So now when you're not getting that anymore, now you're like, we got to do this again. And now it happens, it's the opposite effect, man. And that keeps happening 4 times for a defense. It's
well, and not only that, 2 of those times were for touchdowns.
This is true.
Touchdowns.
Yeah. One at the end of half, and one at the end of
It's so demoralizing. You have them stopped. We have you beat. We did our job. But that's no longer the job. The job is now stop them for 4 downs.
How about against the Texans? 4th down. They throw that fade in the corner to St. Brown on a 4th down play. He's got like less than a foot to catch that ball and tap in. And they broke the Texans on that play. Broke them.
Yeah, part of the last week, those 4th downs, it was Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick has finally started to realize his role here. He's taking over for Josh Reynolds last year, making some plays and blocking. That's something that you didn't see out of Josh Reynolds. Dan Campbell, a fan of Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick obviously played outstanding. That was his best game with us. And so many things he did. You know, everybody sees the touchdowns, but just, I mean, there was a number of blocks that he made in that game. That were huge. So guys playing at a high level.
You know, the stat book doesn't always show the game. Like, you look at the stat column, it doesn't tell you necessarily the game, and I think that's been the case for Tim Patrick, KG.
Yeah.
But this past game, stat column also showed that he's been out here balling.
No, Tim Patrick has fit in like a glove, man. And I've said this before. All offseason, we was wondering about that wide receiver 3 position. Who is going to come in and play the wide receiver 3? Since he's touched the field, we have not said a word. And he has come in and been an upgrade, I feel like, over Josh Reynolds.
Because of the blocking.
Exactly. But it's not just that. We all knew that we needed a big body red zone target, and he's been able to fill that role. But he's one of the more sure-handed receivers that I've seen in the league. And I was already a Tim Patrick fan. I've watched a little bit of Denver football, and even with bad quarterback play, he was a number 2 receiver. So I feel like we got a number 2 receiver in a number 3 role, and this worked out beautifully.
Isn't it funny that was like the biggest discussion about the offense in the offseason? Who's our 3rd wide receiver? Who's our 3rd wide receiver?
See, it matters.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was going to be Khalif, you know, Tim Patrick. They signed Allen Robinson, who you know has played a little bit. But, yeah, Tim Patrick has taken that role, and it's mine.
You haven't seen Khalif at all.
No.
He's been in
before he was injured, he wasn't getting quite the targets.
One, because you want him to be specific to what he does. Like, you know, and look, Khalif, every time you gave him the ball on offense, he makes plays, but he's not a 3rd wide receiver. And this is not a disrespect. It's not a slight by saying that. The 3rd wide receiver is a guy that really could be a strong 2. Like, you look at what they were last year in Cincinnati with Tyler Boyd. Like, that's what a number 3 wide receiver looks like. But, yo, Tim Patrick, remember, as early on, Pete, as the beginning of the season, the Rams game, the next game, the Bucs game, we take a what were people saying? Do we wish we would have kept Josh Reynolds now?
Yep. But he also, also on the edge of what you said about were we missing Josh Reynolds. Also in that week, he threw a touchdown pass over there in Denver. So people were forgetting about how versatile Josh Reynolds could be because he was throwing touchdowns over there. But Tim Patrick is not only a great route runner because, you're talking about his blocking there, Bray, and everybody, we're talking about his blocking. His route running is absolutely spectacular. I consider Tim Patrick, I know this sounds weird, guys. We were talking about who's the number 3 receiver on the team. Just hear me out on this. Tim Patrick is like a 1A receiver on this team because right now because of the fact that he's taller than all that. Well, I think I'm pretty sure he's taller than J-Mo. Yeah, he runs better. He runs better routes than J-Mo. He does better blocking than J-Mo. I think that his contributions on the field. I think Tim Patrick is like a 1A receiver based on his production and what he brings to the offense on the field, and it proves every day. And it proves with this offense continuing to win with getting him not only the ball, but like you said, Bray, him throwing those blocks, setting up plays for J-Mo and for Amon-Ra to get open.
And it helps that Amon-Ra, your number 1, elevates the slot position. Exactly. Like, that's his natural position. So you need someone at that X. You need that 6'4" big body receiver. And then, of course, your Z is your fast game breaker, which we got in J-Mo, and then your slot.
I apologize that I let Pete talk. Because I knew this was going to happen. He was going to say something to 1A, Pete.
1A?
Yeah, he's like a 1A. I already said he was a number 2. That was about as far as it goes.
Jameson Williams had 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. Amon-Ra has 900. And come on, Pete.
Man, I'm telling you, dude.
Now, you can say importance. I understand, importance.
Because of his skill set.
I'm just talking body type.
Anyway,
body type.
Yesterday, we had a conversation. There's a team coming in here this Sunday at 4:15. That is 10-3.
Yep.
They're a damn good football team.
Yep.
You saw the performance that Josh Allen put on in offense, 3 touchdowns passing, 3 touchdowns rushing. Still didn't get the job
No
done.
turnovers.
100, no turnovers, which has been his Achilles heel throughout his career. Maz and I touched on it a little bit yesterday. Where are you with this Buffalo Bills in this game? Just quick, because, we got 10 minutes or so to kill.
The way I put it, there's 3 teams in the league. I think if the Lions show up, it's actually going to be a fight.
Okay.
And the Buffalo Bills are one of those teams. And
fan base, you like the fan base, too.
I love breaking
They
tables.
gonna take over Detroit, man. You
They
ready to fight?
will not
You
take
ready to
over
fight?
Detroit. Oh,
Take
I'm always
over.
ready to
Shoot,
fight.
Ain't nobody taking over
I gave
here.
out the address yesterday to Packers fans, so
I'm ready.
But
Come in like this.
listen, Bills fans, it's a lot harder to get tickets now here than it used to be, so they're not going to come in and take over. But
They not taking
I got
over.
respect for the
Yeah.
Bills.
They already booked 2 bars downtown.
They're there. That's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So all 40 of them.
That's fine.
The
You won't
Mafia
be
will
getting
be
in the
there.
stadium with that.
Okay, we'll see.
You won't
We'll
be
see.
getting in the stadium.
I might come downtown just to see what it is.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
I know. I want
But
to
I
watch.
respect
Bills
the
Mafia
Bills.
travel.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
not a fear; it's a respect. There's 3 teams in this league I respect. The Bills are one of them. We can throw the Eagles in there, and then fringe for me early in the year, Baltimore. But now they've kind of fallen off in my book.
Respect means there's something about them, not necessarily fear. I'm not throwing that word out there,
Right.
so but respect means there's something like this could be a dogfight to the end.
That's the way I look at it. It's like a street fight, right? Like some guys you get in a fight, like, oh man, this is going to be a matchup.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
I
it's a
can
long
win, but I'm gonna take a couple hits,
true.
and that's the way I look at. You throw the Kansas City Chiefs in there too. That's the way. Those 4 teams are my hierarchy of teams that I know if we step in the ring, we're gonna take some shots. Does that mean we're getting knocked out? No, I don't believe that at all. I believe we can knock out any of those teams. But those are the teams I respect. I respect the Bills. When they come into town, it's gonna be a fun matchup. These are the games that everybody's been waiting for. Meaningful games against good teams in December. And you get probably arguably the best team in the AFC on your doorstep, coming off a hard loss, so you wonder how they're going to respond to that, because they could very easily tailspin too at the end of the season and lose 3 or 4.
This is true.
Spread's 2.5. Lions are
That's
favored
1.5
again.
now.
I just looked.
Really?
2.5.
I just saw it earlier, 1.5, and
It's going to be between
It was
those
1.5.
but it was 2, then it went down to 1.5. So something's changed a little bit to where Vegas, and when
Yeah.
you're at home, you
They
get
trying
plus
to balance
3,
the
right?
money
They're
out.
taking money. They're balancing.
Yeah, they trying to
check
check
the
And
But
it's
what
the
that
Lions.
tells me is that a neutral location, the Bills would be favored, right, Maz?
Yeah, because the Lions
They're
are a
plus-
lukewarm favorite. 3
Right.
is the actual number.
Correct.
When you're a home team.
So
it
Vegas
is-
thinks the Bills
yeah,
are better than the
Buffalo's
Lions.
taking the money. No doubt about it.
I think the Bills. I think Vegas is hinging their loss.
Yeah.
I think the line. Vegas knows who the better team is. Vegas is hinging the loss. They just lost in a game in which Josh Allen pretty much all but solidified MVP this year. Maz, where are you with this team? Like this Buffalo team is showing you they're not the same team as before in certain regards. Josh Allen now knows how to take care of the ball. Where are you with this game coming up? I got a thought after.
It's going to be a hard-fought game. Obviously, I don't fear Buffalo. I don't fear any
no
team
fear.
against this team. And I'll tell you this: if they were fully loaded,
What gives you cause for concern?
If they were fully loaded, the spread would be 6. That's how much I believe the Lions are
But
better
they're
than
not.
the Bills. It's not.
Yeah.
So they're playing what they have. I think they'll win the game. They'll cover the 1.5, 2.5, whatever the hell it is. I think they will win that game. But I remind you of when the Patriots played the Giants in the regular season, when they were on their way to an undefeated season. Beat the Giants in Giant Stadium, and they met again in the Super Bowl, and the Giants beat them as a wild card. Lions are no one's wild card. They're going to be the home field. They're going to have the home team. They are the number 1 seed. They will be the number 1 seed when it's all said and done. They will be ready for Buffalo this week. Dan Campbell will have them ready. Buffalo put 40 up against the Rams. That's the Rams. This is the Lions. I say they put up a little bit less than that last week. Packers put up 30. I can see another 35-31 game.
Also, the Bills will not beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, so I'm not worried about seeing them.
got
I'm
to
not
see
worried
it
about
first.
seeing them again. I feel you, but they're
You don't
not.
think they'll beat the Chiefs?
No, but I'm going to tell you why. After you, KG.
Yeah, so the Lions definitely have an advantage in this game. I feel like from the offensive line going against their front 4, because one thing that we know is that the Bills' defense has been madly inconsistent, and if you can run the ball and just play typical Lions football, time of possession, keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands, and I feel like we're going to be able to come out of here with a victory. However, it is going to be a shootout. He's going to make plays. He's going to be able to get out the pocket, and he's also probably the best running quarterback that you've faced all year long. So you got to be prepared for that, but the Lions are really good at stopping the run, and offensively, the Lions can put up points with anybody. We've seen that. So I would expect them to, like Matt said, get another shootout this week, probably another 30-point shootout.
Yep.
But as long as the Lions play ball control, time of possession football, we will come out on top.
Yeah, 100%. I like where you're at with that. Here's where I'm at with the Buffalo Bills. I don't trust Sean McDermott. Mm-hmm. Yesterday I talked about the rushing the ball piece. So I agree with you 100%. You rushed the ball on them. That's how the LA Rams stayed on track. They didn't worry about what Josh Allen was doing. Kept running the ball with Kyron Williams and passing at the same time. Sean McDermott, man, I'm telling you about him in terms of like in-game decisions. I haven't liked him since we've been on the show.
Yep.
Like, and he's gotten better as he's a damn good head coach. Like, I have no slight towards him. He's a really good head coach. Yeah. He's reinvented himself a couple times. I think when he's had to, he's fired the people that he's needed to fire and brought people in. So he's a really good coach. In-game decision, he still makes mistakes. I don't know how their quarterback sneaked like that last week. And that's not the first time. Do you remember the Broncos game last year? Because he had 9 men on the field this game? Remember last year against the Broncos, they had 12 men on the field when the Broncos missed the kick? But they had 12 men on the field, so then the Broncos made the kick.
Yep.
2 years prior to that, the Monday Night Football. Yep. You and I watched the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
This is what Sean Dermott is. It seems like when it comes to the Chiefs in the playoffs, and then these in-game decisions, these moments, these fractions where it's a couple seconds left, it's 4th and inches on a big down, or it's 2 minutes left in the game, he doesn't seem to get over the hump. That's where I don't trust him. That's where I trust the Lions. It's the coaching side of things. I trust Dan Campbell in those moments.
Agreed. Over most other coaches.
True. But Sean McDermott, I'm giving him the edge, and I'm actually on the opposite side.
How about this? You're going to see 2 games on Sunday.
I agree with Stick on the backslide, by the way.
4:25 games. CBS, Lions, Bills. They have Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. Fox, you got the number 1 team. Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, and those guys. Philly and the Steelers. Against each other. I don't think I've ever seen
2 potential Super Bowl.
Two great games like that against each other at the same time.
Wow.
I mean it. That's the first time I've seen 2 A teams in broadcasting terms. 2 A teams going against each other. I don't ever remember it.
Braylon, I got a question for you in regards to like getting up for a game like this.
I'm looking at the slate.
The 1 o'clock slate's bad. The 4 o'clock slate's amazing.
I'm looking at the rest of the Bills' schedule. They got the Patriots after us, the Jets, and the Patriots again, right? So this is pretty much the last.
They have to play the Pats twice?
Yeah, this is pretty much the last Bills game of the season. The other ones could be walkthroughs.
I don't know about that.
Okay, we can debate whether you give the Patriots credit or not. We know the Jets are trash.
Horrible.
Yeah, horrible. But if you're the Bills and you just went on the road, you went to California, you played the late game, you ended up losing, you come home, you know you have the number 1 team in the league, you're going on the road to face them. How does that weigh on you mentally? Is this a pressure game for them, or is it just another game on the schedule for them? Because whatever your answer is to this, I think will lead us to figure out how McDermott's going to coach, because it seems like pressure situations, dude's going to fumble the bag. In other situations where it's kind of a given, he's a good coach.
If I'm Buffalo in this situation, you pretty much have locked up. You've locked your division up, so you've got one of the slots. You're not going to get the bye week because that's going to go to the Kansas City Chiefs. So you're good, regardless. I think you just the key goal in this: try to get the win. This is going to sound bad for people out there, but you want to get the win. If you can't get the win, you just want to come out healthy because at the end of the day, it's like it's an NFC game. It doesn't really matter because we're not getting the 1 seed. They're not going to supplant the Kansas City Chiefs. So in this game, it's like you just want to come out healthy. You want to make sure you're good. And you're already won your division. I guess it's about spots. So is it going to be 2 or 3, depending on what
Ravens.
But they're ahead by what? 2? They're ahead by.
No, I forgot about the Steelers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Because they play this. No, Steelers play Philly.
That's gonna be
Go Steelers.
Go Steelers.
That's gonna be a dog fight.
But yeah, just psychologically, you wonder, because for the Lions, it's hey, we still got to win to get this number 1 spot. It's a home game. We got to take care. We got to take care of business. I think the Lions look at this as just another game on the schedule.
Lions want to beat their ass because the Lions don't want to make it close. It's a home game. Yep. To be honest, if I'm just thinking from their mindset, they already feel like they let the fans down this year. You know why? They lost to Tampa at home.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying they
almost lost to Chicago.
I'm not saying they did let the fans down. I'm talking about how they're thinking.
Yep. Yeah.
We shouldn't have lost to Tampa. We should be undefeated at home. The fans should not have seen that. So they don't want to lose again. Not to mention, you got this team in Minnesota that, annoyingly enough, it's still chipping at your heels.
This is also a team that came into your building 2 years ago on Thanksgiving and served you your last or second to last Thanksgiving.
Oh, this is real.
So, yeah, it's definitely Dan Campbell.
Stephon Diggs catching for the end of the game.
That's when Von Miller tore his ACL in that game.
Now, think about it. The Lions haven't had a great home game since the Jags, and that was November 17th. So that was almost a month ago since they played really good ball at home. You look at the Bears game, you won by a last-second field goal. You look at the Packers game that just played, you won on a last-second field goal. They haven't come out and dominated a team at home and put on that big home performance in a little over a month, and that was the Jags, which is expected. I'm looking
Jags and
Titans. They beat them pretty good too. Seahawks, they put a beating on, but ever since then, it's been a struggle with the division guys. So I think the Lions, maybe use that as some motivation. Like, listen, guys, this is one of our last opportunities. We got one more home game after this to put on for the home fans. Let's make sure we do something special.
CBS NFL Today is going to be in town. They're doing their pregame show live from Detroit on Sunday. So it's going to be fun downtown.
It's going to be fun. Let's pay some bills.
Wearing?
Let's pay some bills and let's switch the topic up a little bit. I think we can get into some Tigers in this offseason that doesn't seem to be going our way. But also,
ain't no offseason.
You got to talk Eagles.
Anyway, let's get a message from KDK Law.
Divorce, as Flannel Sam would say. If you're going through it, KDK wants to make sure you get the best service possible. KDKLawOffice.com. And it doesn't matter if you're going through divorce, doing something with your family, or some criminal law activity. They got your back, and they will be the excellence you need on your side. So if you're looking for a lawyer, any type of representative, and you know what? You may not need a lawyer now, but you may need one later, so make sure you put them in your pocket. Just scan that QR code right above my head right now. It's KDK Law right here in Birmingham.
And you can fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com, choose your favorite roast, use the code word Woodward, and you'll get 25% off your first subscription order. A weekend online, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. We'll be right back.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry! Offer ends December 20th.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
In any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, when you give to the Salvation Army, your donation makes it possible to serve our community's most vulnerable. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The Salvation Army of Metro Detroit's 2024 Red Kettle campaign. We were just out in Troy on Saturday collecting, and it was such a fun day. They want to try to get $7 million in their fundraising goal is that this year. So that's a ways to go. We got to help them out. It's going to provide love beyond Christmas to individuals in need of food, shelter, and compassion. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to donate.sagreatlakes.org to donate the Salvation Army.
Hey, Lady Jane's. It's that time of year. You're going to see your family around the holidays. Don't look like a hot mess. Make sure you go to Lady Jane's, get your haircut, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. You'll get a precision haircut. And if you're lucky enough to sit down with someone like Beth, she will wax your ears, your nose. She'll wax whatever you want.
What do you got going in your ears?
Beth is heads and tails service. Head to tails.
Heads and tails.
We appreciate Beth and all the girls at Lady Jane's. Walk in anytime. Get that scalp rub, that massage, and it's wicked awesome.
Oh, man, Stick, I love you so much. Welcome back. Second hour show.
Beth does not.
No full service.
Ryan Ermanni's not with us, but this comedian over here, Sam Day, is. Maz, I thought about you and Pete yesterday. I went to Kroger's, and when I walked in, of course,
a cereal aisle?
Salvation Army, they were ringing the bell outside, so I donated my first monies to Salvation Army. I don't feel like the holidays start, man. Like it's certain things that kind of like make the holidays start. Obviously, snow, Mariah Carey, 100% Salvation Army. Like the first time you hear the bells walking into an establishment, it's like, oh, there it is.
There it is.
Oh, God. There it is.
Hear ye.
We talked about this a little bit earlier. Obviously, we in Detroit, we don't have to worry about such things as what the Philadelphia Eagles have to worry about. A.J. Brown makes the comments after a win. Mind you, they asked A.J. Brown after the game if there's anything that could be done better. He had an interesting conversation. Here's A.J. Brown after the Eagles' ninth.
In terms of everyone, not just you, a lot of the players on offense saying that this was just not up to the offensive standard.
Putting our head down and just going to work, doing the things we're doing and learning and growing.
What are the conversations like with Jalen during a game like this where maybe the passing game isn't everything you want it to be?
Not too much conversation, honestly. I don't know.
Person that's complaining need to be accountable. And I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he know this. I don't know the whole story, but I know that one is trying. And I mean, 11 could be a little better with how he responds to things. And they was friends before this. It's like, man, but things have changed. And I understand that because life happens. But it's the business side that we have to make sure that we don't let the personal get in the way of the business. And that's what we got to do better as right now because we know it's an issue. Everybody's seeing.
So that's not the end of the conversation as well. Brandon Graham, once again, Detroit's own, Crockett Rockets, University of Michigan. He then went on to go on Eagles radio that night, Maz, and you say he may have walked it back a little bit?
He kind of stepped it back a little bit, saying that he stepped out of line. He didn't really say what he said.
Oh, sure.
And he's a great guy, Brandon Graham. One of the best.
I've known him since he was 12.
He's a Detroiter, right? Of course, he's a true blue guy. Yeah. He just don't want to see his guys getting into it with each other. And then this morning, Nick Sirianni goes on WIP radio, and he had his own version of this.
When I see AJ and Jalen communicating about the game plan, eating lunch together every single day, praying with each other before the game. There's going to be speculation, and I get it, rightfully so, based on what's happened the last couple of days. But all you can do is is judge what you see. Like I have more information. I see them every single day. I see what's going on in the building.
Sirianni is full of what. He knows every single day. You don't go from having these two. This isn't the first time they've been conversating. Like they were getting into it in the playoffs last year.
You remember when Jalen Hurts was just sitting on the bench by himself
in the playoffs
as they were getting their what's kicked?
Yeah, 100% by Tampa, right?
Yeah,
by Tampa, 100%. So they don't sit together every day. I understand what he's doing. He's trying to bring some cohesiveness.
Yeah, but
to
you could at least tell a believable lie.
That's not cohesive. And then you have Brandon Graham, who's a Super Bowl winner.
Yep.
This is not coming from the space of just a veteran player, a Super Bowl winner that understands what's going on in that locker room and what it takes. Like Brandon Graham, like he said too much, but he was telling us exactly what's going on. They don't rock with each other.
Yep.
A.J. Brown don't like Jalen Hurts. Most people don't, from what I hear.
Really?
And But it doesn't matter what you don't like. Shut up and play the game.
Exactly.
Like, shut up and play the
Remember
game.
at the beginning of the year, we all talked about him and Devontae Smith supposedly had a rift. And that
Somebody
was
slept with
supposedly the
somebody.
rift last year. And it had something to do with girlfriends. That's all I got to say.
I'm just good. Aren't you glad you don't have those problems, Stick? No fighting between J-Mo, Tim Patrick, and Amon-Ra?
I mean, yeah, I'm glad. I was thinking about more here at Woodward. I mean, we have egos pop up every once in a while against
That's
each
true.
other.
Show crime.
But that's part of being on a team, right? But I would never come out
But
and be
not in
like,
public.
well, actually, Stick and Maz eat lunch together every day. It's like, come on. This isn't high school. This isn't junior high. You know they're not hitting the lunchroom together.
Yeah.
You know they wouldn't take this public if it wasn't already over the top inside the locker room.
Every lunch I
this
ate
didn't
with Mark
just pop
Sanchez,
up this
though.
week.
I ate with Mark every lunch. I was trying to get paid, though. I was trying to get the ball.
Yeah, but then you didn't go and trash him on the air afterwards, did you? No.
That was before the butt fumble.
Well, I wasn't there for the butt fumble,
Yeah.
so 100%. It's just like they say in The Godfather. You know, it's a line I quote, and I use myself as an example. I was up at a
Whenever take sides against the family again.
100%. Before that, no. I was at a Michigan watch party, made the infamous comment about Michigan University. I was damn right about what I said, and
Absolutely.
I agree with what I said. But like Vito told Sonny, you never talk about family business outside the family.
Yep.
That's more so what it is. You don't talk like this can be 100% true. You can have this. You can have these feelings. Y'all can fight behind closed doors. But once you bring it to the public, you can never get that genie back in the bottle.
Facts.
You never get that genie back.
And you know what? That's going to be the difference, I think, when it comes down to. But here's the major difference for Philly.
Yeah.
They got Saquon this year.
They got Nick Sirianni.
Last
That's the
year
major difference.
they had our retread. All right? They had DeAndre Swift. This year they have the MVP, one of the top 3 guys in the MVP voting in the backfield. And what is he, 400 yards away from breaking the record?
Yeah.
Stack the box and make 2 people that don't like you beat you.
They got a lot of talent, man.
They
got
do
a lot of talent.
But the guy,
I hope the Lions will be healthier when they do meet him in the NFC Championship.
yeah, too. And I was gonna say, hey, the guy that you have, like, look, he's proven that he can't necessarily get it done, but in that Super Bowl, he was amazing. I know
Yes, he
Shane
was.
Steichen isn't the offensive coordinator anymore. Jalen Hurts was amazing in that moment, and he does have that moment. Like, that's something you can always pull on. It doesn't matter if Shane Steichen's not there anymore. He remembers what that moment is, and I think this team, barring injury, much healthier than that team last year, and they're in a much better position outside of these two.
He ain't been the same guy since then, though. I mean, his passing numbers, Jalen Hurts.
No, he hasn't. You're right.
So I've said that Nick
Since
Sirianni.
Game 6 last season, he's been this guy.
Yeah, no, I've said Nick Sirianni is going to be the downfall of the Eagles, but I think like you got to put Jalen Hurts in that conversation now too, because his passing numbers way down. You look at the chemistry between him and A.J. Brown failing now. So I mean, I don't know what that means for their offense because Saquon is carrying them. You take Saquon out of it, then what does it look like?
Jalen Hurts is the and this is not trying to bash on him. Obviously, he's had some success, but it's the same thing from college.
Exactly. That's what I was going to
It's the
say.
same guy from college.
At one point,
where I
they
was
didn't
going.
even
Yeah,
want
it's
him.
like Dak Prescott. People keep getting mad at Dak. He's Mississippi State Bulldogs finest.
Yeah.
4th round quarterback draft pick.
It's a fact.
Having another baby, by the way.
Get mad at
Shout out to Dak
yourself for
Prescott.
expecting a leopard not to have spots like that. I mean, that's
what it
the
comes
only
down
thing.
to.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts. He's a solid quarterback. He's never been the best passer. That's why he got replaced by Tua at halftime of a national championship game.
That was the greatest thing.
Like,
that was
halftime,
the greatest.
they're just like, get the hell out of here, kid. We gotta go win this thing.
Greatest in-game decision of all time.
Yeah, it was
Greatest
great.
in-game decision of all
It worked
time.
out, right?
Only Nick Saban
It
can
worked
make
for Nick
that.
Saban.
Yeah. When you know you have a guy that can throw the ball and running the ball is not working. So Jalen Hurts is what he is. The system made him what he is. You know, the tush push or with a Philly brotherly shove or whatever you want to call it. That's padded his stats beyond belief, right? Yeah. That's made him a more valuable quarterback in ways that really most quarterbacks aren't. Because you take away all those little 1-yard touchdown runs, his QBR sinks. There's a lot of things that come in play because of that stupid little play that they invented. Yeah. And it works. But let's not say that makes a good quarterback. You could put Penei Sewell back there. You could put anybody in that position with 4 guys pushing you. It's not like he has a unique skill set. He can squat a lot, but so can a lot of guys in the NFL.
But who cares a quarterback? Jared Goff ain't out here squatting 700.
Don't need him to.
100%.
Tom Brady, you saw his combine video.
He squats now. He squats more now than when he played.
Right.
I remember that Georgia game, Michigan, Georgia. We set up here on the show. We had this conversation, you, me, and Ryan, Maz, before it happened. I said, look, man, if old boy get out there and doesn't look good in the first half, bench him and put JJ in. Who's the quarterback from Aiden? Not Aiden.
Aiden O'Connell?
Yeah.
Cade McNamara? Is that what you're talking about?
Cade McNamara. Remember we said? We said, hey, look, if it's not looking good in the first half, let's bench him. Let's get JJ in there. Just like Tua and Jalen Hurts, who we just talked about.
Didn't work. We weren't going to beat Georgia that day.
Heisman Trophy, where are you with that, man?
Well, you got the 4 finalists are out there right now. Let's pop them up on the board. Listen,
there's 2.
I don't even know how you come up with 4. For real. It's 3, really.
Did Shador get slighted?
No.
I'm just asking.
Because Travis Hunter's getting propped up a little more. So, I mean, you can't have both. You can't have both of them. Yeah. You get one, Colorado. You
Shador's
get one.
Been good,
especially if you're potentially robbing it from the guy who should actually win it.
KG, make an argument for Ashton Genty on why he should win the Heisman Trophy.
I mean, he done broke a lot of rushing records, man. Literally has broken Barry Sanders' records.
Nope.
One team's in the college football playoffs.
Did not break Barry Sanders' record.
Oh, well, he's close to it.
Yeah, he's 180 yards away.
And shout out to Neil Rule because he said the 2 extra games does help, and I do agree with that. But we have not seen a back of this caliber in quite some time in college football. So I think if you look at that, you look at the team he's doing it for, Boise State, and he's literally been the driving force behind them getting in the playoff. I think he deserves to be a Heisman if I'm pushing his agenda.
Okay. Make the argument for Ashton Genty.
I mean, the argument to me is I'm looking at the playoff brackets right now, and I don't see Colorado on here. I see one player that elevated a mediocre.
Wouldn't be the first person.
It would be since we've never had this. But
Lamar won the Heisman, and they were ranked, 15, 16?
But there was no playoff bracket for him to make it into at that point. That was this would be the first time. But, taking this team to a 3 seed. Overall, they wouldn't be there without him. Colorado is going to be Colorado with or without Travis Hunter. What? How? An average team with or without him? You don't think so?
They're 9-3. That's not average. Yeah. It's not elite. It's not average.
Dylan Gabriel's got the #1 team in the country.
Okay, they'll be an above average team.
Dylan Gabriel's got the #1 team in the country. I'll say that again.
I understand that. But once again, he's another one of these Heisman picks where it's like we got to put somebody because they're undefeated and he's not a bad quarterback.
Exactly.
Carson Beck made the Heisman Trophy a couple years ago.
Yeah,
how'd that work out for Georgia?
He's horrible.
Max Duggan was a Heisman finalist. So to that point, I understand it. And he's been a good player this year. It's an offense and it's Matt Lanning. It's not just him. You don't think about Dylan Gabriel. We think about these players. Pete, where are you with the Heisman? Are you good with Travis Hunter being favored? Or do you think Ashton Genty should be the guy?
I like stats. I like numbers. Yeah. I'm worried about the competition argument because that always seems to come up. I mean, Ashton Gentry he's a freaking good talent. He's going to make a really freaking good
Hunter's going to
NFL
win it,
player.
Let me say that Hunter's going to win
But that's not
I
what
was
it was.
just about to get there that I think that Hunter's just going to end up winning it just for the fact of who he's played against, and that's just real life. And there's nothing that we can do about it. The numbers are great and they're sexy.
Well,
but
it's like the people who hated on Charles Woodson for winning it over Peyton Manning, right? Like Charles Woodson.
But this is different. Charles wasn't playing 160 plays a game.
Right.
That's true.
But he was elite on both offense and defense and special teams. He hit all 3 aspects.
No, he was good on offense.
Okay.
He's elite on defense
and elite at special teams.
Exactly.
Him and Peyton are 2 Hall of Famers. Do you see a Hall of Famer in this bunch?
No.
Exactly.
Well, it depends on how you use Travis Hunter in the league. Like, he's a special talent. Like, the only reason why I don't have a problem with, I've just never seen anything like what Travis Hunter is doing. You can tell me about Champ Bailey and you can tell me about Charles Woodson all you want to. Champ didn't play all the wide receiver snaps and then all the DB snaps and then return punts as well.
He earned the Heisman.
He never leaves the field.
Yeah. We haven't
he earned the Heisman this year.
Yeah, this is true. And then Ashton Jeanty, his numbers they're stupid.
Yeah,
ridiculous. They're ridiculous. But we have other numbers like this that happen for guys that didn't win. Calvin Smith, most notably, UCF. Like, if you're gonna do it I can see both.
And at the end of the day, the Heisman's nice, but what does it actually mean? I mean, how many Heisman winners have gone on to be great pros? Let's say maybe it's a 50-50 split. Would that be a fair?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Caleb Williams ain't doing too hot right now.
Caleb Williams.
But I gotta give Neil some credit with this. He said that, we could see another Ashton Jeanty again, but will we ever see another Travis Hunter the way he's doing it right now?
That's what I just said. I've never seen it before.
But we have a better chance of seeing another Ashton Jeanty.
No, because if I'm being honest, a sane coach. And this is no disrespect.
No, it's true. That's a fair point.
A sane coach is not doing this again.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't care how. Like, if Will Johnson was this on both sides, Sharon Moore wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Harbaugh wouldn't do this. It's not a sustainable practice.
Yeah.
Because you're only waiting for the player to get hurt, just so everybody can say what he shouldn't have did that.
Exactly.
So that's why it's not sustainable, and you mess up the young man's career. Like, I get it. But outside of Deion Sanders, first-time coach in this
trying to get him to the pros.
He's going to get
drafted
to the right
team. He's right on that, but I'm saying you'll never see it done again.
He'll be drafted as a DB, though, right? You don't see him as a wide receiver. You see him as a wide receiver?
You see him as a wide receiver.
Really?
Who was he hitting at that size?
Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the smallest offensive threats in the league. He ain't hit Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
Wide receiver, I could see that. You see Xavier.
I said he could bulk up.
You see Xavier Worthy from KC. You got guys that have played. Deshaun Jackson's not a notoriously big guy. You see, J-Mo's not that big. He's bigger than him, but J-Mo's not that big. And he's a small guy. He's a microphone.
Nope. It'll just be interesting to see where he winds
DBs,
up.
Though. That's all I'm saying. But to me, he's a better DB than a receiver. I would much rather have him as a DB than a receiver because it's a better skill set on the defense.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Right. That's the only thing. I get the side. I do get the side.
He's just such a freak of weapon at wide receiver. I saw him almost make, and keyword almost, I saw him almost make a catch. I was like, how did he even, it was Justin Jefferson like. So how did he even think to put his body in that situation to try to catch it like that?
Yeah.
Like, he's a talent at wide receiver. I think at DB he'd get exposed. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Time will tell.
Hey, could I ask Stick something that we did yesterday?
Yeah, go ahead.
I get his opinion.
Oh, God.
What do you think of the playoff, the way it sits, and the way they have slotted teams in, and the path to get there?
Most notably, Oregon.
There's the bracket for you.
How they got played.
They got shafted.
Yeah. And the bracket's up there for you.
And look at the teams that are having the bye.
Yep.
You've got BYU and Arizona State with byes.
You gotta reward the conference winners somehow, and that's
but not like this.
Why not? Then what else is the reward? Just
Arizona State. You think is one of the best teams in the country?
So what are we doing? I'm rewarding you for winning this conference. Meanwhile, I don't even think you most of these teams, you're like, are you a top 12 team?
But wait, do you guys have a problem with Minnesota playing away games for the first part of the NFL playoffs when the Lions are the #1 seed, even though Minnesota's only lost 2?
That's different, man.
It's different.
It's the exact same scenario.
It's not.
They're a better team than who got slotted, but because they won their division, they get the home game. It's the exact same thing.
But the difference is there may be 1 or 2 situations like that in the NFL. You got literally your top 5 should be on the back 5.
Yeah, but they'll settle it on the field. Does it really matter if they're the better team? They're going to have to beat who's in front of them. I mean, that's the one thing I love about this is there's no more hypotheses.
So look at a schedule like Penn State's, and
Penn State got lucky. But this is the year. This is the first year of it. I don't know if this is going to be the rule, if this is a one-off, or how it's going to go from here. But yeah, I mean, I think we can assume the 4th team in the Big Ten is always going to be better than the first team in the ACC. Right. Like, that's just how it's going to be.
So what they should do is take the top 12 teams that are in the playoffs, and then look at them, schedule all of that in, and that's how you seed them.
Yeah,
the weakest schedule goes on the bottom.
So what's the point of winning your conference then?
You're in the playoff.
The 12 team.
How about Notre Dame? They don't have a conference to win.
So they should never host a playoff game, in my opinion.
And they are. They're hosting Indiana.
Yep.
I don't agree. I think Notre Dame should be in the conference by now, but I'm going to lose that argument to all the Notre Dame people.
To me, if that's what you're worried about, you shouldn't even be in the tournament because you got to beat them no matter where you play, at home, on the road, on the moon, wherever you play them. You got to beat them. So play the game, and I don't take too much offense of it just because of
put up the SMU versus Alabama schedule here for a minute.
I don't have to argue.
All right, now
I just don't like.
Which of these two teams belongs in the final in the final 12?
Yeah, well, but
I'm just asking you.
I mean, probably Alabama if you want to argue about it. But once again,
I'm happy they're out because I'm sick of them. But in reality, they should be in.
Yeah. Okay, but now what are we doing? We're splitting hairs over the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th team instead of the top 2, which it used to be.
My point exactly. It should only be 4 teams.
Thank you, then it was top 4.
Thank you.
But they were still bitching about, look at what happened to Florida State last year. Right. They got effing screwed.
They had no starting quarterback, and they got beat by 80.
That happened this year, too.
And they got beat by 80.
But they earned the right.
But it shows you the committee made the right decision because they chose not to put them in, and they got beat by 60 to another team that wasn't in, that should have been in.
Georgia.
So leave it at 4.
But here's the beauty of it.
6 is the very most I can.
But here's the beauty of it. They keep pushing the argument down the road. To now we're arguing about 16, 15.
Right.
I'm still going to try.
It keeps getting less and less of importance. Like, who cares who's the 13th or 14th? Oh, they're in the dance. Good. There should be losing first round anyways. It doesn't matter.
Hear me out for a second.
When you're starting to play NFL level games, which means these colleges are going to start playing 15. They're already playing. You got to play 15 to win that championship. Now it's 16. Yeah. Then it's going to be 17. At what point do these collegiate athletes who are also students, at what point do they max out, tap out, get injured? Now you got who playing? Oh, by the way, the game's the day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's for the NCAA to figure out, not me. I mean, they're the ones who've already botched this with NIL. They don't know what they're doing on that end. Like, the NCAA is doing then planning.
Any given year in college football, there's no more than 4 teams. 4 teams that actually deserve and are capable of winning a national championship.
But I think this is going to change your mind, though, Braylon, because it'll turn into every given Saturday, just like it does in the NFL.
But that's not.
It'll be like the NCAA brackets.
But then it's not realistic because now you're depending on who's hurt, what's the schedule, what's going on at the end.
Welcome to the
who has
battle
a bye, who has an easy schedule.
It's a battle of attrition, but I like it better than it's the end of the college football season.
Why
now
do I need to play another 5 games?
I got to wait 6 weeks for the best team to play.
If we know we're the best team in college, if we know we're the best team. Give you an example. 2000 Miami. We knew they're the best team. They're arguably the best team of all time. We need another 5 games to prove that they're the national champs. No, why?
Because you do it in basketball.
But you never did. It's new. We already had a proven method.
But the reason they implemented this is because people were bitching about, there's only 2. We should always have the 3rd or 4th. Yeah. Okay, well, now there's 4. So what about the 5th guy that should have been? Okay, well, now there's 87. Well, what about the 88th? Yeah. It's going to be a perpetual push down the list forever as far as we go. This I like because you're going to have somebody. What if an SMU all of a sudden pulls an upset?
I hope they do.
That's what the NCAA wants.
I love
it.
And now all of a sudden
we argue with the wrong guy. I like March Madness.
Right. And that's what this
tells me football can't be like March Madness.
It shouldn't be like it. But you know what? If we're going to do it, let's do it, right? Let's go all in.
I'm just saying reseed the teams. That's all I'm saying.
You can say what you want. You've already seen what's going to happen, so, really, I need to shut up. You saw what happened when the TCU Horned Frogs got to the national championship. You saw what happened last year with freaking Florida State with no quarterback.
And they'll shake
so,
out.
I'm going to just keep shutting up. You'll see what happens. You'll get all these blowouts. And everybody's collecting money. Meanwhile, we're sitting here arguing about what should and what shouldn't be. Big wigs making money. Meanwhile, it's gonna be the same freaking teams winning national championship.
But that's all. That's the name of the game, right?
But
they gotta earn it.
But now they gotta
earn it. So Michigan didn't earn it last year.
Yeah, they did.
Miami didn't earn it in 2000. Yeah, Ohio State didn't earn it in 2014.
No, Ohio State didn't.
The NCAA
this year,
don't care because
let's face it, this year there's been no outstanding team, and I'm not even counting Oregon.
I agree with you.
They're just okay.
What do you mean okay?
They're a lukewarm number 1.
But that's where the NCAA messed up. You had the parity, you had the playoff, but then what did you do? You went and told not that part. You went and told the stools, you guys can pay players now. So now you put it right back in the hands of Texas and Michigan and Alabama and Georgia. You put it right back in their hands. Now that teams can pay players all right, they don't need an NIL deal per se.
I could see SMU upsetting Penn State.
SMU couldn't even win a championship.
Right.
But Penn State, yes, another team. Though.
They couldn't even win their
But that's who they're matched up
Right.
with in the first round.
I get it.
So, like, I'm interested in watching these matchups, and I'm glad there's more of it. Because this is, you should know this about me if you watch the network. I don't love college football during the regular season.
Michigan,
I think it's a big waste of time. I don't need to see Southern Methodist Institute for the Blind versus Alabama on a Saturday. I don't need to see games I can predict. Now at least I get a little something I can't predict. I get the best teams in the best matchups because that's always been my biggest complaint about college football. The small school versus the big school benefits nobody on a Saturday.
In that case, they should play less games in the regular season and get rid of the championship.
Now you're talking.
Now I'm okay with that.
Yep.
If you drop it down to 8 games, and now the 9th game is the first game of whatever, and you do this playoff, and the playoff lasts till December or January 1st, then it makes sense. But if we go through all of the regular season just to get a team that's 13-0, and now they got to play Ohio State or Tennessee, meanwhile. That's what you need to do.
Now we're talking.
Scrap the other stuff.
But listen, if Division II and Division III can pull it off, Division I can pull it off.
Now we're talking.
So, I'm with
I
you,
will
though.
say something. I ain't trying to hurt no feelings.
Cut back on the season.
That's a solid conversation right there.
No, I'm talking about Division II and Division. I was like, I don't hurt no feelings, man.
Let's do a 9-game season, and then their 5-game playoff.
This is a solid conversation.
I love that.
Somebody made a move in the MLB in this city yesterday, and
Don't get me
I don't know if
started.
it was the best move, man. Let's talk a little bit about the Detroit Tigers and Scott Harris when we get back with first a message from the pregame show. My man, Peace by
Don't do that to me before we go to break, Bray. I am hot about the Tigers right now. On Sunday, and especially this coming Sunday, Lions fans, you can join us right here on Woodward Sports, 8 to 9 a.m. for Woodward and Maine, the Lions preview show with the great Matt Broder and the even greater Terry Reginald Foster. Woodward and Maine, the Lions preview show every Sunday, 8 to 9 right here on Woodward Sports. Brought to you by New Holland Brewing Company and Sabbath Coffee, Tangerine Space Machine, all that wonderful stuff that they have, 1800 Tequila, Tullamore Dew, Irish Whiskey. And then you can catch the Woodward Sports pregame show, and we're going to be live from the Second Best Bar this coming Sunday, 10 to noon. At the Second Best Bar, you can join Sean Belegian and Neil Rule for the best Lions pregame show, brought to you by New Holland Brewing Company, Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and 1800 Tequila. And then what follows all that, Kenny G?
It is the New Holland Brewing Company watch party with the heavyweights and the post-game show with Stick and Anson. And all of that is brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller, your local laundering, 1800 Tequila, Soroki's, and Sabbath Coffee. And it's the watch party, man. You already know you're getting the heavyweights back this week, but you never know who is going to pull through to the watch party, man. It's always a good time. We get to watch the game, enjoy live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township. And then it's the post-game show with Stick and Anson, where you know Stick going to give you some wild takes, Anson going to give you some SOL takes, and you get to call in and make your voices heard. So it is the New Holland Brewing Company watch party and post-game show.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 days of fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry, offer ends December 20th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The bad boys from the NFL are here. Your 2024 Detroit Lions are the hardest hitting, highest flying, trickiest playing, grittiest team in the NFL.
A dominant team.
Get all your coverage of your favorite team right here in your favorite network. Woodward Sports.
They ain't that good. Soroki's is, though. Heartland. Check this out. Thursday, December 12th. You know when that is? It's 2 days from today.
Yep.
Thursday, 4 to 8. That's the new grand opening. I told you, Soroki's is popping up all over the place in metropolitan Detroit. But what you can do is you pull up on them. You register.
Pull up on me.
You might get a chance to win free pizza for a year. Tell me that wouldn't be something. Convenient. It's football season. It doesn't matter what season it is. Football. Pizza goes hand in hand with every season of the year. Free pizza for a year. It's a lot of free meals for the kids, man. It's a lot of money put back in that pocket. Pull up on Harlan, 145 Clyde Road. That is 2 days from now, 4 to 8 p.m. After you eat all that pizza, you got to go to Planet Fitness because your fitness is essential, so you need to work out. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, it's the gym for you because everybody's coming because there's a squeaky clean environment. The locker room is squeaky clean. There's a trainer with every membership that you purchase. And also, it's no judgment. Work out at your own pace. It's Planet Fitness. The last thing, though. It's fitness that fits into your budget.
Braylon might also save your life there, too. So
you feel me? I might save your life. You just never know.
Save your life.
I'm always there, man. That's still crazy. That's crazy that happened this year.
Yeah. You had a wild year, man. You did.
It's been a great year. I've been very blessed.
Yeah.
The year that I had, man, friends, family, things.
Michigan Hall of Fame.
The draft happened in Detroit, the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you got on stage at the draft.
I did. 200 or however many thousand there was out there. It was a lot.
The Renaissance year for Braylon Edwards.
It's a comeback year. I like that, man. I definitely like that, man. Speaking of comeback, welcome back to the show. Stick full in for Ryan and Ermanni. How you guys doing out there, man? KG, you good?
Chilling, man. I'll be happier when 4 o'clock gets here and I can go home.
I ain't mad. 3:55.
Yeah, even better. Even better.
I'm paying a little old to Ryan or Ermanni.
You guys done with any Christmas shopping? Are you almost done?
Wifey's been out doing all of it the last 2 days.
You don't do any?
Not really.
I do, but not like I used to. Amazon kind of makes it easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazon makes it easy. You go in there, just get the gifts, just come, you wrap them.
When I'm done here, I'm gonna go hit Somerset for a little bit, just walk around and get in the spirit.
Question for you.
I'm almost done already.
I got a
90%
I got a 10-month-old at home now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What the hell do you get a 10-month-old? Like Corey's like, we got to go get the baby something. Like the baby doesn't care. The baby doesn't know. Like, what do we get the baby? The baby gets anything it wants.
What about the baby?
Can't get them clothes either. They grow out of clothes.
It's mama's first Christmas, man. You know what
I
I'm
know. Listen, I don't want to spoil it or anything, but what do you get a 10-month-old?
They
Like,
grow out of clothes.
things.
Can't get them clothes.
There's stuff. There's stores.
Here's a phone you press. Like
Right.
I don't know.
Get her an iPhone.
What type of friend?
Get her iPhone. Massive.
Tom Mazaway, you as well as the rest of Detroit, I think we were very unenthused with the Tigers signing yesterday of 37-year-old right-hand pitcher Alex Cobb. Now, you go back, he does have some pretty good seasons.
He was an all-star a couple years ago.
Yeah, like 18 years ago.
No, a couple years ago.
I'm just joking, man. Went into the 2022 season.
He's a good back-of-the-end rotation guy. That's what he is.
And I hear they're after Goldschmidt, too. The Lions are determined to win the 2015 free agency.
Okay.
We're going to do it this year.
The Tigers are?
Oh, yeah, the Tigers. 2015 is what the year we're gunning for, apparently. Like
2015.
Come on.
That's when these guys were relevant and good. That's the
Thank you.
joke.
I get it. I got it
That's
now.
the joke.
Where are you guys with this signing, Alex Cobb? Is it, all right, look, this is the first one, it's not the last one, or is it like, hey, look, I expected the first one to be insert player here?
It's a wait and see. You would have liked to see a bigger splash. I don't know. I thought after the run they went on, man, Chris Ilitch was going to be running into these winter meetings with a checkbook about this big. Come on. We need to fill we need a full-time third baseman, whatever it is. Yeah. Bregman, how much you want? I'm paying you right now. All right, we need some closers. We need some more support in the pitching staff. I thought he was going to go down there with an open checkbook ready to be taken advantage of. Yeah. But no, it's still... Well, Spencer Torkelson, he was a high-drafted player.
Javi Baez is coming back.
Javi Baez, we're really hoping his hip gets better. It's like the hip ain't getting better. Javi's not getting better. Like, you're trying. What you did last year was so special. It really was. You packed Comerica. You were one step away from a championship series. It was special. And now you're just going to sit on the same team and do nothing?
I got a little something about Javi Baez. Now, this comes from an inside source. This comes from a friend of mine, Maz. I'll tell you after the show. And this is a guy I trust. This is a validated guy. He's connected and inside of all the front offices. Said the problem with Javi Baez. Now, what it is what it is. Now, this doesn't take away from what he's doing or lack of what he's doing.
He's glad.
It just gives you more perspective. He said that Chicago Cubs run, that Javi Baez was a single guy. He said he was dialed in, said he was on time to, let's say, like practice. Like he was mature about every situation. He was just somebody you could trust. He was full of life. He was fun. He's a different individual. You know what happened in that time span, man?
He got married and had a kid.
He got married, and they said she is the devil.
I ain't trying to hear that.
I'm talking about him mentally. I'm talking about mentally. Like he said,
between the ears.
He was dialed
as a fan, I'm not
between the ears. And then after he got married, it says he has been.
I could see that.
Each year, if you just look at it, it kind of makes sense though. Look at his stats, starting with the Chicago Cubs win in 2017. I want to say.
Yeah.
His stats have gone down each year.
But if I'm the owner and GM, what that got to do with you have produced literally nothing for us.
But what I'm asking you is, why did you get this player?
Yeah, in the first place. That was Al Avila's work on the way out the door. But why would you keep this player at this point? Because you got to pay him regardless. But you're paying him to essentially. Well, yeah, but if you get rid of him, it's just money out of your pocket. It's not affecting anything the Tigers want to do. So why would you continue to have this guy that is an anchor in your lineup and is pulling down your young talent?
Pete, I might have been on to something yesterday, man. I'm bringing you in on this stuff. We were talking about the franchise, talking about the money that Chris Ilitch has, et cetera. And everybody's like, well, he is not the 18th owner in the MLB. It's the 8th. Well, he owns 2 franchises. A lot of times you see moves like that. A lot of the big wigs, sure, just let the money be a dead cap. Sure, pay the money and don't get anything for it. You're balancing 2 franchises. 2 franchises. You're spending less money. Could that be one of the things that Chris Ilitch deals with? Or am I making too much of that?
I think Chris Ilitch is...
Yeah, you got to pay him.
Okay. Chris Ilitch, to me, he's not his dad, obviously, because his dad came from nothing and worked his freaking tail off. I got to be careful here because I don't want to start throwing out insults and all that stuff, but I just want Chris Ilitch to be careful of becoming too spoiled in the
Born
lifestyle.
On third.
Pardon me?
Born on third.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Too late for
it's
that,
just
Pete.
no, I hear you. My whole point is that he's proving left and right that he might have been a little bit too spoiled as a kid, and it's showing right now because he's being too careful with the money. He's being too careful with that. I've known a lot of rich people in my life. I've known generational rich people. No, I'm serious because I grew up in
Pizza Blue Blood.
These people, these blue bloods, sometimes when they inherit money, they don't have the killer instinct where the money came from. And Chris Ilitch is really showing me signs that, I'm sorry, guys, he doesn't have the heart to open up the checkbook and be as aggressive as his dad.
But that's what's so crazy is because he watched his dad, right?
That's what I'm saying.
He learned from his dad.
And
what was Daddy doing at the end? He was spending money, baby, and putting 3 million people inside Comerica Park throughout the course of the season. That's what I'll never understand about these professional owners, especially like a Chris Ilitch. You've seen when the product's on the field, you're printing money anyways. So why not make the investment? Even if at first you got to overpay for a couple people, and maybe the Javi Baez contract made him a little skittish.
Look what Steve Cohen's doing for the Mets.
Man, just go. Just spend the money.
He's like, I'm going to spend. He said, I don't care about the luxury tax, but he's in a different. He's in a different stratosphere than Ilitch is.
Also, too, you just made the point for me. Chris Ilitch is the son.
Right.
What did his son? What did the father do? He created all that. He created the empire.
No, I
he
get
created
it.
the money
but
that
you
Christian
watched
inherited.
him do it, right?
Understood.
Why are you going the other way?
Because
Like, if I'm Henry Ford's kid, I'm not getting rid of the assembly line.
That's generational
But
money.
if I don't have ways of creating more of this cash, then I don't want to lose this cash because I didn't necessarily bring this cash in.
That's generational money. When you're scared into the fact that this money ain't going to continue unless you... I'm telling you, he is scared to spend a freaking dime because he don't want to lose family fortune. That's what my point, Bray, and you're agreeing with me, and I appreciate
you can make money off the Tigers if you put a little bit more on the payroll and get people in the ballpark.
Of course, but he ain't rolling the dice, Kenny G, and that's the problem. If you're going to buy a team and invest in the team. Bray's making the right point.
The Lions, the Major League Baseball, the revenue of the Major League Baseball franchise Detroit Tigers amounted to $360 million in 2023.
Yep.
$360 million.
What's the payroll?
Was the revenue.
What's the payroll?
That's the payroll.
24th in the league. Something
Detroit
stupid.
Tigers.
Something crazy.
I remember watching last year, and they were saying the one guy from the Houston Astros he made more than the entire roster. So 151. Okay. So what I say, 360, 151. So you still got $210 million to play with. Yeah. So let's say I only want to make $100 million this year. Operation costs. Okay, let's put it up. Okay, so let's say $50 million in operation costs. Okay. I think that's a fair, probably over the top.
More than that, they're doing all those dugout things. That's going to be more than that.
Those aren't operational costs.
Why are you building that?
Those are capital investments. But those are capital investments. You get those back on your tax return. But you get those back on your tax return. Anytime you improve your building, it's called a capital investment.
Great.
So that's fine.
I'm going to spend $30,000 to go watch Malloy hit.
Yeah, like, what are we doing?
But here's the deal. Even if we add the $151 million that they're already paying, and then we add the $50 million that we're assuming, you're at $200. So you're plus $160 million. Yeah. So even if you're like, hey, I'm gonna make, I only want to make $100 million this year. Yeah. There's $60 million in payroll.
How much they lose on the Red Wings last year?
Yep. You don't lose. So there's no
but
losing.
Guess what? $30 million makes you a damn better baseball team.
Yeah,
than
not
what
to
you
mention that they packed the house last year in the LCA. Tom Mazaway, where are you at, brother?
Well, they're one of the least. They are at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to payroll.
Red Wings made $200 million last year.
They're at the bottom of the barrel. You got to get into the middle. The Tigers are a middle franchise. That's where they should be with their payroll. But this guy, Scott Harris, and he was on yesterday. He was on baseball. He was on MLB Network, and Adnan Virk was the host of this show, and they were talking to him about this rumor about the Tigers not only signing the 37-year-old Cobb, but being interested in 37-year-old
Paul Goldschmidt.
I told you. Check it out.
Listen. I believe with regards to the Tigers as well. See what this is here. Tigers showing interest in free agent first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. Sources say Goldschmidt, 37 years of age, 2 years removed from winning the NL MVP. He hit 22 home runs with 716 OPS this year while playing at 154 games with the Cardinals. Scott?
Oh, man. If I got to respond to every tweet, we're going to be up here all night.
So true. I was about to say, do you have like a phone charger with you at all times? I guess you have to have it with you in today's day and age, right?
I do travel with a phone charger.
Scott Harris with the MLB crew, and he was laughing about Goldschmidt, whether they sign him or not. I don't know. That would be back-to-back 37-year-old guys. Sure, Goldie's excellent. He's a Gold Glover, but he's up in age, and his skills have diminished over the last bunch of years. He's not the answer for this team. I'd rather ride with Torkelson. There's other guys out there that you can go and get. But Scott Harris, he's the smartest guy in the room. So we're going to have to just stay behind and see what the hell he does. And he wants to develop the young talent. That's what he's going to do, guys. We're going to get Mark Canha back. That's what we're going to get.
What they did last year was not only improbable, it was almost impossible. Plus, you needed the help of the Twins absolutely having a historical tank. Yeah. So to sit on your laurels and think, oh, yeah, well, we're good. That's going to happen again this year. I love the Tigers, but come on, guys. Just spend the money. And that's what's going to really make me mad is because the quote was, once the core is established, we'll spend the money. The core's been established. Spend the money. And I know it's not my money to spend, as Mark Royal loves to point out in the chat, but you know what? I've seen it work. So I'm trying to advise them on how to spend their money.
Yeah.
Do it properly for all of us. Not only do we get a winning team, they get more revenue. It works out for everybody.
And it's the only way to work. In this modern MLB, it's a no-cap league. Look at what the Mets are doing. Look at what the Yankees are doing. Look at what the Dodgers are doing. These are the top teams in baseball. Moneyball only gets you so far. We've seen that. It tapped out for the Rays. It tapped out for the A's. It tapped out from the Giants, where Scott Harris came from. So it's just like, if you don't pay, and we're not asking you to be the top payroll in the league, but if you're not willing to at least take a chance on some players to bring in, then you're going to waste your young talent. And it's just unfortunate for Tiger fans who have had to wait for over a decade just to get what we got last year, and it's not sustainable.
What's the Sunny Valley retirement home? I mean, how many freaking old people are they going to bring in here? I mean, what the hell's going on here, man?
Well, next up, we're having a seance to bring Al Kaline back to life, and then we're
Mr.
going to put him.
Yeah,
Are we going to have dance classes? Are we going to have dance classes right now?
Curtis
what the hell's going
Granderson,
on?
I heard,
When's
is coming back.
Paper mache hour? When are we going to do a paper mache hour?
Actually, Bobby Higginson and Damian Beasley are coming back.
Tom, 5 minutes left, 6-7 minutes left in the show.
Caitlin Clark.
Wherever you want to go. I was going to say the NFL, finish off with a couple stories, but
I want to hear KG hate on Caitlin Clark.
I don't hate
There's not enough time for him to hate on her.
I don't hate her.
We all know why, KG.
She was named the Times Athlete of the Year, Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, to the woman that put the WNBA on the map.
And
yes, she did.
A lick of it.
She put the WNBA on the map.
Did you see that? Which team was watched most in all states? And it was Fever, pretty much in every state but 2.
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
Yeah, she's
so congratulations
but not
to
an
her.
Olympian. Can't represent our country.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't like. All the extra stuff. Just let the girl be the girl, and let's just.
They wouldn't let the girl be the girl. They had to keep the girl off the team.
It don't matter.
Right.
We beyond that now. So
are we?
I don't want
KG?
I don't want to hear about you're fouling her too hard, or she's not on the. Just let her be great. That's all I want.
She has been great.
Just let her be great.
She has been. She saved the league. Without her, that league's done.
Okay.
Done.
That is your
They got their own plane to fly in now.
Yeah, they all
because
get
of
their
her.
own planes.
They got better meals. They get better per diem.
You act like it's prison.
Lots
It's
of
the
stuff.
WNBA.
You know that league
talking like
loses
it's
money though,
prisoners.
Kate. You know where they lose money, right?
Yeah, I'm aware of the WNBA situation.
You know how much tickets are for opening night to see her in Indiana play? Over $300 already. The WNBA.
Yeah.
$300. Hey,
I ain't paying.
I want to shout out to
my
my buddy Darren Hill, sitting home watching us. D Hill, 60 years young. Congratulations,
Shout
young
out.
man. He's a big Raiders fan back there, sitting around.
Happy birthday, young man. 2 more bill situations. 2 individuals we like. One's behind us. Peace by that. What you tell me about Caesars and some merch?
You got it, my friend. Everybody out there right now, if you scan that QR code above my head and open your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account, Caesars Sportsbook, by the way, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Again, you scan that QR code, open your brand new account today, use that code word Woodward1000, and you deposit at least $20 and make a bet of $20 or more, and that bet happens to lose, then you'll get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head, open a brand new Caesars Sportsbook account, and use the code word Woodward1000, and then you can take your winnings over to shop.woodwardsports.com right now. Get yourself some of the latest and greatest Detroit sports merch. You're going to be wearing that Lions gear all the way through mid-February, so you better get some new Lions gear, because that old Lions gear may start to stink after a while, and then you're going to need your Tigers gear come spring training, Red Wings and Pistons as well, all at shop.woodwardsports.com. Log on and load up right now.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry, offer ends December 20th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
It is 1800 Tequila, the official tequila Woodward Sports Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every single Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township. Shout out, Stick. And celebrate all those smooth wins with 1800 Tequila. Proud sponsor of UNR Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, it's the best taste in tequila. And please, y'all, drink responsibly.
And don't miss our good friend, Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. He joins Big D Energy every Tuesday, was here earlier today. He'll be with us in a couple of days. Every Thursday, Dr. Pierce trying to keep you in the game and teaching you how to stay on the field. Don't forget, trust the guy that DMAC and Braylon trust. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce, MichiganSportsAndSpine.com, 248-426-9944.
Before we finish up with the Detroit Red Wings, it's nothing like old beef. Oh, it just keeps going. You look at Ja Rule and 50 Cent.
Yep.
It's nothing better than them keep going. You know who else has a consistent issue with each other? Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens.
Yes.
Did you see what happened, man?
Yep.
So obviously you see what happens to A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. Donovan McNabb, he comes out and he says, it's two grown men. If you got an issue, you come to me. Let's go through the media. Let's not go through the media. It blows up. Now what you said is out there in front of everybody. This is Donovan McNabb. Well, Terrell Owens was given wind of this, and here's just what T.O. had to say. Now, this is interesting coming from you. Now how I interrupted it, but the funny thing is, I agree with you on the idea of having an issue and someone that you go to. This reading so small, my apologies. You go to them and not the media, but there's a thing. I never had an issue with you, but it's known that you had an issue with me. Jeez. So maybe you should have taken your own advice here. Oh, yeah, and we might have won Super Bowl 39 against the Patriots, ladies and gentlemen. But that's another story for another day. Hashtag just my 2 cents. Hashtag 317. You gave yours. I'm giving mine. Hey, Freddie Mitchell, thanks for sharing. Freddie Mitchell was a slot receiver on that team. Yeah. Freddie Mitchell was nice out of UCLA.
Crazy hair, man.
But it just never stops.
And
this is 20
again.
years
it's
later.
Philadelphia again.
This is 100%. It's 20 years later.
The brotherly love, Mez. Hey.
It's always been this fun.
Here's a fun story, too, that I just pulled up while you were doing that. You were just talking about how Joe Burrow's house got broken into. Yeah. You know who called it in?
Oh, his chicky's messing with
swimsuit model.
Yep, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model Olivia Pontoon or Ponton.
Is he dating her?
Well, apparently
dating,
she's quote unquote employed by him.
The jump off.
Deshaun Watson.
The jump off.
So maybe a prostitute.
I will say this though. I'm gonna just give Joe Burrow some advice as we close the show.
OnlyFans subscription.
Certain cities have real bad issues as it relates to theft, as it relates to certain type of element, if you will. Cincinnati is one of those cities. When you go on Hard Knocks on HBO, that everybody has access to, I'm just being honest.
Yep.
And you say that you purchased a $3 million tumbler, a.k.a. a Batmobile, from the Batman movie series, what do you think is going to happen? And it's not fair, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm not saying, like, look, you buy what you want to, you live what you want to, say what you want to. I'm just telling you, certain cities, it's not the right
That's
thing.
why, if you remember back in the day, Redman, when he did his cribs,
100%.
he was making sure no one was breaking into his house.
He still owns it, by the way.
Oh, he should.
This is like an epidemic in the NFL. Kansas City, some players there getting robbed, and now Bengals getting robbed.
Because they have
you
access,
know where you're at.
Not only that, too, you have access to the money that players make.
Right.
Yep.
You have access to their things. It's like, shoot, I know this guy's making this, and I'm a crook.
Yep.
Shoot, how much is Patrick making? What is his hours at work? Great.
Oh, wait, they're in Mexico
11.
City this week?
I see you at 11.
This is just the beginning. Wait till they
Joe
start.
Burrow, he's at the facility when?
Wait a minute. Maz is on the show every day, 2 to 4? Oh.
I got nothing to steal.
Still a pool.
I promise you, I got nothing to steal. I got helmets.
The Lions F-150, I'm sure a lot of people
I got my helmets.
This is true.
That's
this
here,
is
though.
true. Look, man, we appreciate you guys. Things always fun when we do this, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Maz. Took it easy
fun,
on
man.
you
Everybody
today.
played nice today.
It was a holiday spirit.
Everybody played nice, man. Appreciate KGP.
Good job.
Appreciate you guys out there. Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys in chat. You know, we rock and roll for you. This thing is built for you, you and mine. We wanted to have a piece of the team, piece of our sports team, and that's what you do. You have a say in the matter, and you have it here, the #1 network in the state. That's what we're sports. This is Ermanni Network with Maz. We appreciate you. We'll see you, my man.
See ya.